Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, sir.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Thursday, November 12th, 2020. And the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM begins right now. Shout out to Twine for that beautiful beat drop, and shout out to you for watching the show or listening to the show wherever the hell you may be. Adam Shine on Sports, just got done with a great couple hours of sports talk, including Masters conversations in the middle of November. Wow. Do you think the weather in November is potentially going to rain and damper the Masters spirit a little bit? Possibly. Couple delays, couple suspensions already here on day one, but the boys are back on the course swinging the club. A man named Bryson DeChambeau, who somehow, some way put on 65 pounds of muscle in a couple months and nobody asked any questions, was the odds-on favorite to win the Masters going in. I was listening to Scott Van Pelt late night last night on SportsCenter because I got home very late after dominating NXT and kicking another man's soul into the sky and being Tyler Breeze. Now listen, whenever I go down to Orlando to NXT, it is the time of my life, but let's not act like I'm not down there on a mission, okay? We're on a mission to take over the wrestling business. And those three men that I stand alongside every Wednesday night are going to be the faces of the business for time to come.
Hell yeah.
Danny Burch, Oney Lorcan, Pete Dunne, myself taking over. A little man jumped, did a flip, and took me out last night. Thought I was going to die, but everything got made up for because his little ass got tossed through a table, which is awesome news. Anyways, last night when I got home late night after doing... Victory was so sweet, baby. Victory was so sweet. Obviously, Danny and Oni, for those that didn't watch, by the way, what are you doing? Okay, let's please watch USA Network Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. It is magical. I am telling you this, even if you are not a wrestling fan, know that it is magical. My mom is not a wrestling fan, and she's not always a fan of mine, to be honest with you. Wasn't for a long portion of my life. She is glued to the television on Wednesday nights because she said, you know, you've always been a little shit stir and now you get to do it. I'm like, thank you, mother. She's having a time of her life. But anyways, I'm having a time of my life as well, and it's only a matter of time before all of us probably have championships and titles and are just kind of walking around doing whatever the hell we want to do. Yep. That's kind of what we've been doing the last couple of weeks. Anyways, thank you to everybody that watched NXT last night. Late night last night, I was watching Scott Van Pelt, and he was coming to us live from Augusta, and I think they put him in maybe the smallest room in the clubhouse. He was in what seemed to be a closet at that place, and I guess it wasn't a closet because they had 6 feet social distance or whatever because he had a golf expert in there. And I was listening to them talk, and they didn't even talk about the action at all. And I was very surprised. I was like, yo, that Western Michigan Toledo ending is one for the ages. I got a chance to watch it on a plane back home last night. Guy misses an extra point that would have put them down 3 for Western Michigan. They have to do an onside kick to get the ball back. Said guy that missed extra point was a massive part of that. Punter recovers the onside kick. They go down the field. They're down 4, have to score a touchdown if they want to beat Toledo. They march down the field. There's like 20 seconds left. They have a first and goal or first down in like the 15 or 14. They go to spike the ball, because the clock needs to stop. First and goal or first down. Quarterback fakes the spike, throws touchdown, game winner. Maction's awesome. The fake spike tutter to win the game is something that is talked about and fantasized about in football lore. And they actually did it last night on TV. It was magical. Shout out to Western Michigan pulling that off. Shout out to Toledo, who a lot of people bet on, by the way, losing a lot of money for a lot of people there at the end and not covering anybody. But also being in a position that is very easy to happen. You could be winded at the time. The spike to stop the clock is just something that's kind of like a routine at this point. For somebody to fake it and throw it is awesome. I remember hearing one time, I don't know if it was in a meeting in a locker room or on a plane or something like that, but I was listening to old Peyton Manning talk about these types of plays. And Peyton always wanted to pull off the fake kneel, clock still running, jog to the locker room. Come on, guys. Telling the guys, like, let's get to the locker room, but hanging on to the ball and just jogging down the field as if he was going to the locker room after a fake kneel. The full acting, like we were talking about in the conversation I was a part of, everybody was talking about how everybody would have to act and like maybe even a couple guys unbutton their helmets and everything. Ooh. Like it was the conversation was maybe 15, 20 minutes long about how, okay, you got to be in the proper spot where you're facing towards where your locker room would be. So we started going through like stadiums in which that was possible. Our stadium was possible if we chose to defer and took the ball in the second aid. Like there was an entire conversation about it. Those types of situations are only dreamed about, fantasized about, because they're so hilarious, they're so awesome, and they never ever happen, it feels like. Last night, Western Michigan pulls off the unthinkable, the unbelievable, the unfathomable, the fairy tale-like play to win the goddamn game in some action. That was gorgeous, okay? It was absolutely gorgeous to watch. Congrats to Western Michigan for pulling that off. Now, it was the second best thing on television, obviously following right behind another kick, right? Because the onside kick was awesome where the kicker or the punter recovered it. Kicked the guy's head off as well. So last night, good television. You get it. Yeah. I was watching Scott Van Pelt. They weren't talking about that at all. Okay, everything was Masters coverage. And for me, I'm a golf fan. Okay, I'll watch. If there's nothing else on, I'll watch. And if there's people I enjoy golfing, like for instance, if Tiger Woods is golfing, there's a good chance I'm going to watch, right? And if there's a lecture, Brooks Koepka's golf, I'm going to go do it. Bubba Watson now, friend of the show. If he's doing something, I'm going to watch, right? So I'm watching for people, not the sport. I completely forgot this is like their Super Bowl that just got moved over to November. Yep. And it was being treated as such because I'm not sure the ratings will look anything like that. Today and tomorrow, I think, going to be very good. The weekends could potentially be problematic. Now, 4 SEC games being postponed could potentially help the Masters, and maybe we should. Oh. No, I'm not going to say it. Oh. Did the Masters people? They wouldn't do that.
It's in Georgia.
Did they drop COVID into these locker rooms?
Yeah. Possible.
Hats off to them.
Hats off to them because, by the way, ratings probably go up a lot in a lot of different states down there. But so maybe that helps Saturday. Sunday, going to be very tough, I think, for the Masters to do anything. Now, it'll be watched on social media and everything like that. But I didn't even know, and this is because of I always got my blinders on. I completely forgot that the Super Bowl of golf is happening right now. Like as we speak, it's happening. And last night they were doing this entire conversation in this closet of Augusta. They were on location. Scott Van Pelt is so damn professional. He was literally sitting in a room that probably should have been on television, and he was just transitioning to Tom Rinaldi that was out on the course telling a story, and then he was talking to this guy. It was unbelievable trafficking of the show by Scott Van Pelt for where he was. And also a lot of information. I got it very quick. This guy that was talking, a little bit older man, looked like he'd been around the game a long time. He said since it's going to be wet, obviously, you need to look at the people that can carry the ball a long way to potentially do this. Like, for instance, Matt Wolf or whatever his name is, he's a guy that's been hot. A lot of people have been talking about, like, maybe he gets going. He gets the ball a long way, but a lot of it is run, okay? So his is on the ground. Whenever you talk about, like, Bryson DeChambeau and these other big swingers, they carry a long way. So since the people who carry a long way, those are going to be the ones that succeed this weekend. So everybody thought that guy that put on 55 pounds just by drinking protein shakes and doing absolutely nothing else, since he carries the ball like 380, 400 yards, he was going to do well. He's not doing great, right? Is he doing anything at all right now?
He doubled number.
Okay, so he's not doing great right there. So he's golfing like us right now. Because I think the thing about Masters is you have to control the ball, though, too, right? Don't you have to be pretty accurate with your whole thing? Yeah. So the long ball, carry long, that the very smart man who knew a lot more about golf than I did, or I assume anybody else that was on television at the time that I was watching was talking about. He was a very nice man, had a little bit of flow, white hair.
Andy North.
Yeah,
is that his name?
Yeah.
Peter's dad.
Yeah, not to be confused with Peter North. But.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so.
Family, though.
Potentially. Yeah. We don't know. We haven't looked into it. Brothers.
Okay. Maybe, yeah.
He was a little bit older, though. He was not.
No. He's up there.
Huh. Anyways, so whenever he was breaking it all down, he said the long carry golfers are going to be the golfers. In my amateur brain was watching, was like, yeah, but don't you have to be accurate? If you're a long ball hitter, isn't it just one little and then that ball is in the woods? I think that happened to Rahm, right? Didn't that happen to Rahm?
Rahm is over par, yes.
Rahm hooked one into the woods, I think. That's why the Masters are the Masters, right? Because you never know who's going to be able to win it. This is a course, though, that Tiger loves. He's the reigning champion at this point. So maybe Tiger will get hot. I'm kind of pumped for the Masters to be happening when I completely forgot it was even happening. What? 12 hours ago. So good for us getting the Masters here on Thursday, Friday, the Super Bowl of one of our sports at the end of the week. Good for us getting the Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans tonight on Thursday. That's a really good game. That's going to be a really good game. That means a lot. I love playing against the Tennessee Titans. Listen, this morning, we went through a little Rolodex of footage of things that I've done against the Tennessee Titans and said about the Tennessee Titans in Nashville on the draft stage. I love the Colts-Titans rivalry, okay? I've had a lot of success in that one. Also, the Colts have. But last year, was there a turning of the page, a turning of the tide that this Titans team is for real? Colts go into Nashville tonight as a favorite. Wild, okay? Listen, I've watched every Colts game. That defense is for real, but any defense can be great. And then if Derrick Henry wants to have a night, there ain't nothing you can do. And the offense for the Indianapolis Colts, I don't think they have an identity yet. Happy birthday, Nyheim Hines, by the way.
Happy birthday.
We remembered. A lot of people thought we'd forget. We remembered.
And his sister.
And his sister, twin sister. Happy birthday to her as well. There's a lot of things going on. And still remember that because that's the type of show we are, because we're thankful for that gymnast football player coming on the show. Parkour legend football player coming on the show. Happy birthday, Nyheim. Hey, good luck tonight, Nyheim. Probably watching.
Good luck tonight.
Probably watching. Happy birthday, man. But they don't know what their offense is. I don't think the Colts understand what their offense is yet. Like every once in a while, it's a run-heavy game, and then Phil is able to go off the play action. Then they'll just throw the ball a bunch, and then that inevitably potentially leads to something terrible if an interception happens. So I don't know if anybody has a real read on the Indianapolis Colts offense. I think everybody has a real read on the Colts defense, which is that they're good at football. But are they good against a Derrick Henry-style offense? Nobody knows because there's only one Derrick Henry-style offense. I think tonight's game is going to be absolutely awesome. It's damn near a pick'em. Colts being a favorite, a little bit interesting to me. We'll have Taylor Lewan joining us, though, in the third hour to talk about the game of the night. Can't wait to hear what he's thinking. That team has changed since he's gone on IR after tearing his ACL. Can't wait to chat with him about what's going on tonight in Nashville. In the second hour, we'll have Steve Levy, the mouth of Monday Night Football.
Let's go.
I like him a lot as a human, okay? Commentator, just learn him. I like him. I like him as that too, but I'm not like... I like him as a human a lot. I just want to let everybody know that. So whenever you listen to Steve Levy on Monday Night Football, know that he was dropped into probably a potentially impossible task. I mean, at that point, because if you do recall the way they started, they had Herb Street and Fowler on the first Monday Night Football game. And then they put a three-man group, which everybody says is difficult. I don't think so at all, but it's always an excuse that other broadcasters make. I don't think it's that hard at all if you can just have a conversation with people, but it seems to be an excuse. But people who do it for a living say it's difficult. So three-man booth, never been together, and you have to follow Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit. Plus, the last two booths for Monday Night Football haven't been very well received by the public. So he was being put in a position that was probably going to catch some shit regardless of how he did. And he has a much different style of calling a game than anybody else. So I think people, they kind of like, hey, this guy's our friend, this guy's our boy, like not supposed to be Monday Night Football guy. I think he's gotten better each week. I think he's going to continue to relish in that role. Now, does he love it? What has it been like for him? I'll be intrigued to hear that from his side of the thing, because it's awesome to get Monday Night Football. It's everybody's dream job, I'd assume. And Steve Levy, I think, was like a janitor at ESPN at one point. He's literally he's worked every single job there to like earn your stripes to get to this point. And I would assume that Monday Night Football is the pinnacle. I want to ask him what it's like when he gets to the top of the mountain. Is the view as good as you thought it was going to be? That is something I would like to ask, because he gets called the biggest game of the week, Monday Night Football, on ESPN, which is their only NFL game, right? So you're the only NFL commentator in the entire worldwide leader. And is it as good as you thought it was going to be? You see what happened the last couple of years, obviously with the Jason Witten experiment, and then Booger and Joe. And by the way, they were hated by a lot of people. I don't know if that's fair or not. I mean, I got to commentate some games, and I got hated by a lot of people. So I think that's a tough position to be in. That's why you normally see just the ones that have been around for a long time remain there for a long time, because it's like, oh, these are the constant. Everybody's already got past their hatred for them. This is how it is. Because anytime you go in to call a game, you're talking – if one team's doing something good, that means you must be burying the other team. So you hate that team. And then if that team does good, well, then you hate that team. As opposed to thinking you like both teams, normally fans say they hate both teams. And then if you speak a way that they don't love, well, they're going to hate that too. So I think I wonder if he knew all the things he was walking into. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, do you know you're walking into basically you're walking through Hell's Gate, right? Like you are going to be fucked regardless here. Like I wonder if he knew that, if he cares, if he notices, if he watches, if he listens, if he hears, or if he's so locked in because he's like, this is a dream job. Let's go ahead and make this as best as possible. I'll be excited to hear that. And in the first hour, I do believe, thank God, 8 minutes from now, we have our favorite rules expert from Fox Sports, Mike Pereira.
Yeah!
I can't wait to talk to Mike, dude.
He's a champion.
I don't know. So it's very obvious that Mike has a great relationship with refs, like the other refs. And we have been a show that I think have held refs accountable more so than any other show. Just because I think if you're a player or coach, you understand how important referees are. But also, I think we have been a show that shows a lot of respect for how hard and difficult being a ref is. I think I feel like I have fairly covered both sides of it. For instance, it is nobody would want to be a referee. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to be a referee. I have no idea why. Nobody's pulling for you, okay? Nobody's cheering for you. The only people that you're ever going to hear from are the people that you fucked over somehow with a bad call. We have technology that is, 700 to 800 times better and faster than your vision and have better. I mean, they are set up to fail, okay? The refs are set up to fail. Now, granted, there's some great referees out there that do a great job, and we haven't even got a chance to really talk about the pinpoint accuracy that I think we all just understand that they have whenever they throw a flag for a spot foul from like 30 yards away and they're like, oh yeah, it's right there. It's like, could he have been off by maybe, 10 yards maybe because he was so far away? No. Spot foul right there. They all have great arms. But normally they're going to fuck up. Normally, the entire world is going to see it in a better way than they did. And normally, you're going to hate them until the next week. And then, I hate this guy. Remember last time. It's just, I don't know why you'd want to be a ref. Obviously, need refs. Very thankful for refs. But there's some times where they make some decisions where you're like, come on. So I think we are very fair with that. Mike Pereira, though, is the voice for all the people that we've buried in the past, though. And in the last conversation, he was relaying messages from people to him to tell me exactly. For instance, Alberto Riveron.
Right.
Alberto Riveron relayed a message to Pereira and basically said, like, hey, if you ever talk to McAfee, will you please explain to him that the NFL is asking me to hold pass interference at a higher standard than it is on the field? Will you tell him that although I understand that the entire world sees what I see, I have to hold it to a higher standard because it's a new rule and it's being overturned and reviewed and everything? Will you please tell him that? Because last year, I don't know if you guys know this or not, if you're new to the show, there was like 10 to 15 rants about that pass interference review thing being a great concept, a great idea for football. And I know the old heads for football will say, no, we don't need more reviews. We need less reviews. It slows down the game and everything like that. Pass interference is 45, 50-yard penalties. They completely change games. Whether they're right or they're wrong, they are a big deal whenever you calculate in to who's winning and who's losing the game. So the fact that that ref in New Orleans did not throw a flag whenever old buddy got speared whenever they were about to score. And the NFL was like, okay, now it's time, because I would assume there's a lot of coaches, a lot of players that have been like, hey, we have all this technology, but the biggest foul is pass interference. Is there any way we could use that to change that? Because people's careers are ending because of it. Coaches are getting fired because of games being determined on this type of thing. Like, there's a lot that can happen whenever you're giving up 65-yard penalties, 70-yard penalties. Is there any way we can they go, okay, we'll do the review system. Last year they have the review, and for pass interference, I was singing its praises. Thank God. Let's just get somebody in there like the XFL review system that has the Xbox control, not the new Xbox, which I heard is hard to get. By
yeah.
I heard it's pretty hard.
Commodity.
It's hard to get. And the PS5, you
don't even try.
It's hard to get. It's tough to get. Dude, the Xbox controller up in the goddamn suite, going through the play with a direct line to the referee, all being transparent on television, and the young person who's running the Xbox controller just going through it being like, see, it's down right here. Yeah, you got it wrong. Go ahead and just pick up that flag. That was awesome. The XFL got it right when it came to reviews. If they had something like that in place with the pass interference rule, I think it would have been just a home run, a match made in heaven, just better for everybody. Defensive backs would be appreciative of it. I think wide receivers would be appreciative of it. Coaches would be appreciative of it. It'd be efficient. But instead what happened, every time it went to review, it never got overturned. They made a mockery of the entire thing. So I automatically automatically took it out on the guy that was making the decisions, Alberto Riveron, telling him, hey, Alberto, figure it the fuck out in there, okay? The entire world can see that it's a penalty. How can you not see a penalty? And I did that 10 to 15 times. And I thought that they were trying to sabotage the rule. I thought the refs were so upset about the rule happening and it being able to go review, like, this is our judgment call, basically, and they're taking it away. And Alberto Riveron was like, no, they're not doing it to the refs. That every single time he got it wrong, I thought he was doing it maliciously so that they would get it out of the game, and I thought it was something that could be good for the game. So I went after him a lot.
Rightfully so.
They get rid of the rule. Okay, can't review it anymore. I'm pissed because the guy who ruined it also killed it, Alberto Riveron. I continue to bury Alberto Riveron. Then turns out Mike Pereira says, like, wrong guy. So I had some misfired bullets, I guess, all last year.
Yeah.
And Mike Pereira came in to tell me, basically, from Alberto Riveron, who works for the NFL, probably told him, like, yeah, you can't just go call Pat McAfee and tell him not to do that. Like, that's not something you do. So those are the things I enjoy hearing from Mike Pereira. I think he opens and incites me on things behind the scenes with the referees because they are such a big deal in games. And I think fans, if a commentator actually talks about it, you'd realize that it's a lot bigger part than people could imagine. But most commentators, I think, just kind of have, at this point, accepted that some are bad, and they're just like, well, yeah, it's a holding call, let's move back. And then they show the review, and they're like, oh, I got that one a little bit wrong, but we'll move on. It's like, whoa, they're going to have to fucking punt here. They're not going to score here. They lost the possession because of that one bad call. Like, it is a much bigger deal than people give credit. And the NFL should pay the refs more money, too, by the way. They should be full-time and everything like that. All the boys here at Tone Diggs will be following Masters for us today, at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. You were going to say something about the referees.
Well, yeah, I was going to say credit to you for being man enough to say, hey, I may have been wrong. You know, not a lot of people would do that.
Well, it's real. I think it's a real thing because that's my real feelings towards the rule. That's my real feelings towards how it was handled. And then there was new evidence provided that made me go like, okay, well, here's my real feelings about it now then. Even if it wasn't you then, you shouldn't have said no. I'm not going to do that. Did I just hit Alberto Riveron again? No, Alberto, I'm not going to stop. You should have told them, I ain't doing it. Let's just get a poll on Twitter going real quick, and whenever it's 100% to 0%, we're not going to change the rule to the 0%, which is all we did last year. But Alberto Riveron probably wants to keep his job. So I got to balance that. F. Eva Lozito, what is your poll?
Who are we hammering tonight?
Who is it?
Colts 30.2%, Titans 69.8%.
Oh, that's very interesting.
No.
I always thought we had a rather large Indianapolis following, but it turns out our Nashville following also very large.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting thing here because Nashville,
We love Nashville.
maybe favorite city going right now.
best.
Yeah.
It is so good. No, but Indianapolis also awesome. So
yeah, for sure.
It's my home, everything. Like Nashville, awesome town. So it's like I'm kind of torn here. Colts paid me a lot of money, but I made plays against the Titans that made me a lot of money. So it's like, you know what I mean? I don't know how. Like I like the Colts a lot. Naeem Hines, our guy. Happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday.
We like I love Chris Ballard. Love that man.
Great guy.
T.Y.
Okay, Jim Irsay, absolute hero in my eyes, legend. And anybody that has a negative thought about him just doesn't know him, I don't think. So he's an awesome guy. All this stuff, T.Y., yeah. All these, Phil Rivers is on the show, Darius Leonard. We like that team a lot. It's just like tonight, Thursday night against the Titans, coming off that Ravens game, it's like, what the hell is going to happen? Nobody knows. That's why it's good Thursday night football. All right, we got to get to a break. Like 5 minutes ago. By the way, I don't know where I stand with Alberto Riveron. It's kind of an interesting situation there. I kind of bounced back and forth twice.
He stinks.
Well, it was in a committee as well, so I think it's kind of like Team Riveron.
I don't think so.
You're really aiming at.
I don't think, and by the way, it shouldn't be. I don't think it should be a committee.
True.
If Alberto Riveron's
Yeah.
the guy, let him hold the Xbox controller. I don't think it needs to be like a well.
No, there doesn't.
Nobody wants to hear it. Well,
Yes or no?
all right. That's what takes so long if there is a committee.
Yeah.
And let's not have him jog 90 yards to stare into a television screen that's the size of a goddamn iPhone when there is a Jumbotron the size of a football field that's at 4K right above them in almost every single stadium, even in the MAC. All right. We're supposed to talk to Mike Pereira 1 minute ago. We'll get to him in 4 minutes. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6 will take your call from the other side. Mike Pereira as well. Go to the bathroom. We'll see you then. Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I'd get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. If you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, or maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think if players who play for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Welcome back to that show. It is Thursday, November 12th, 2020. I took the last 4 minutes during that commercial break to kind of cool off.
Sure.
Because officiating, really gets me going.
It does.
Because good officiating doesn't get talked about enough. And on the flip side, bad officiating doesn't get talked about enough.
Well said.
And that's why I think this show is on the right side of history for a lot of things, because we are fair and balanced.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And a man to tell us whether or not we have been fair or balanced in his eyes or his friend's eyes, joining us, the greatest football rules expert going from Fox, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Pereira. Whoa. Where the hell are you right now? Where are you?
Well, I'm on the Strand in Manhattan Beach. I mean, I'm getting ready to go in to to be the rules analyst for the Titans and in the Colts tonight, and I'm just like chilling out, getting ready.
That's from officiating. That place that you're at, is that a home of yours, or are you staying in a hotel right now?
No, I'm at a home on the Strand.
Throw those flags, baby!
Listen, if this was being paid for by the officiating department, I'd be at the Holiday Inn Express. I work for Fox now. I work for Fox, Fox.
Which, by the way, I do think is problematic because all the networks, they hire up all the great refs. All of them. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't any new up-and-coming great refs, but whenever it feels like a ref is really like you have a lot of trust and respect and like how they go about, the flow of games and communicating with players, normally those ones gone. See you later.
Yep.
See you later. You gone. Sterator gone. Blandino gone. It's just like everybody kind of gets plucked out of there, and I'll tell you what, the game suffers from it, but there is hopefully that next generation that can take over.
Yeah, I listen. I think there is, but you're right. When you look at Blandino and you look at me, hey, we were washed up anyways. But McCauley wasn't, and John Perry wasn't, and neither was Sterator. So you really took three of their best, and then the networks, saw this opportunities to do like they're doing with me at Fox, and they jingled a little more cash out there than they were making as a referee. And then are you fair and balanced? Yeah, you're balanced, all right, but the teeter-totter's kind of going this way.
Goodness gracious.
So why would you take all that heat when you can come and live on the beach in Manhattan Beach?
It made a lot of sense to me whenever I started seeing all the decisions be made. And Paisan Sterator and I have a pretty hilarious conversation because we're both Western Pennsylvania people. And every time I went on the field, we had a good conversation. And I think that type of thing is a trait about refs that people don't talk about, is like how you handle yourselves on the field with the players and the communication and everything like that. And I would assume that takes some time to build that up. So do we need to be more patient with some refs that are absolutely awful, look like they're in over their head, and that they should not be reffing on Sundays? Or should we call it how it is and be like, hey, come on, this is the NFL now, let's get it going? Because there are some that are terrible.
I love that fair and balanced approach, right? Look at, I said like this year, this was the worst year ever for an official, going in without any preparation, going in without any preseason, going in without any in-person clinic. 11 brand new officials that had never worked a regular season NFL game before. And I did talk about needing to be patient. And I think for the most part, there's always bad calls. If you put 130 veteran officials out there, there's going to be calls that are going to be missed. But I think overall, they haven't necessarily been the story. And some of the big plays that come up, like as I'm sure you're familiar with the Colts and the Ravens last week, those are a product of a bad rule, not a product of bad officiating. And I think that's another thing that we need to consider. Is it really the official, or is it what we're trying to make them do under a rule which just doesn't make a lot of sense? So I'm obviously one of them, and so I preach for patience, and probably always will. But I, on the other hand, just get a little fed up with the system. I get a little fed up with the rules, and I get a little fed up with instant replay, which I don't think has helped officiating in the long run. I think it's hurt officiating.
All right, couple things to digest there and dissect. So don't kill the messenger is what you're saying, which I hope we all do take to heart with some rules they're making, like that turnover, because the rules, athletic move, a third step would be considered an athletic move, especially running backwards. Did he have control, though, while the thing was moving? I guess that's up to interpretation, but neither here nor there. Can we talk about the instant replay thing? Why did you watch the XFL at all? It was on Fox, so I'd assume you saw it a little bit. I think Blandino was the one talking. I'm not sure if it was you. But did you see the Xbox controller with the transparency from the person that's reviewing it to the ref on the field? They don't have to sprint 80 yards to a tiny little television. They just got somebody in their ear looking out for them. The people get to hear why something happens. Don't you think like that should just be something that's instituted? It's efficient. Everybody knows why a call was made, and it puts a ref in a much better spot. It gives them a little bit of a cushion to make the inevitable mistake. And why won't the NFL do it, you think?
Well, I think it's an interesting point, because both the AAF, which was the year before the XFL, and the XFL had that transparency, and everybody loved it. They loved kind of going behind the curtain and seeing who was making the decision, how he was making the decision. And, that's another thing with the refs. The replay decisions are being made in the NFL now in New York. And so when a replay decision is made that people don't agree with, who catches the heat? It's the actual officials that catch the heat. Even though they basically have very little to do with the decision.
Hey, not here.
I'd like to see
Not here.
I'd like to see it more transparent. I would love to see it more transparent. And I think people would enjoy it more. If you're in a stadium now, you can actually watch the feed, the replay feed, that what the referee is looking at when he's looking this year under the hood. You can watch it in the stadium, but television, we don't get that opportunity to do. And I think it would be interesting, and they should be transparent. Look, replay, I've always said, is just another judgment. It's another human judgment that is made. So be a little clear, kind of understand why, and listen. And I think it would be great. I think it'd be great television. I think it'd be great for the game.
Mike, I think you have a very heavy voice in this world. I think what you just said there is awesome for the game. Thank you for saying that. And, it's nice to hear that the refs are also on board with that, because I thought maybe the refs are the ones saying, no, we don't want that. But it's nice to hear that the refs would be like, yeah, let's do that. How do you think, and by the way, I would like to let you know, this show, we don't blame the on-field ref. No, we want Ray and Alberto River on, but we learned that was not the right thing to do, by the way, from you
so
early.
You take all your ire to Cuba. That's what you do.
No, we love Cuba.
Oh,
we love Cuba.
What do you say about Cuba?
You say Alberto. There's Al River on again.
We all heard it before, Mike.
But I learned that I was wrong in judging Al, because he was being held to a higher standard for the review for pass interference. So I have openly admitted numerous times that I was wrong all last year while burying that man for making mistakes. And I apologize. I mean, he's got thick skin. He's a ref. Tell him I apologize if you talk to him again. Have you felt as if the refs have done a good job this year? It feels like at the beginning of the season, a lot less calls. Everybody was loving it. I think you were even on the show. We're like, hey, we're loving this. A lot less calls. Now, granted, I don't know if offensive linemen or defensive linemen are loving it. I don't know if players are loving it. It seems like they've kind of picked up the totals of flags being called. But how do you feel they're doing? And aside from that turnover, what is the one you think that has been the biggest kind of ripple effect in the NFL this year that a ref has done?
Well, I mean, to me, we're back to the catch, no catch situation, which I think is, again, taking it out of the hands of officiating and put it into replay. And they look at a different standard, a different speed. They slow everything down. And trust me, if you slow things down, everything looks like a catch, even if the receiver only has an instance of just a flash of control, you can make it look like a catch. And so I don't like that. But overall, listen, the number of penalties are still down, which I think is a good thing. The defensive linemen like it? No, because the offensive holding calls are way down. Does that mean that linemen are probably holding less? No, I don't think that. But the officials are trying to not call it if it doesn't have a direct impact on the play.
Smart.
So I like it. I mean, I like it. And I think they've done a good job. And the number of articles that I have read beating up officials this year is down from past.
Hey, that's good news.
I think that's a good thing. We're getting a lot of points, and overall, I think too that there's bigger issues in the game right now. When you talk about COVID and how the league is dealing with all that stuff, and how are the officials dealing with that? They've had one or two that have tested positive and had to be replaced, and it's a tough season, and for what they're facing, I think through the first half of the season, they're doing a pretty damn good job.
That nobody thinks about the refs' COVID protocols. Do they have to lock down in a city 2 days before? If
they get tested for a Sunday game, they get tested at home on Thursday, and then when they get to their hotel, they're tested at the hotel. There's no meetings together. There's no meals together. They're all in obviously separate rooms. And then when they go to the stadium in separate vehicles, then they got to go dress. They don't even dress together in the locker room.
Hey, that's
and then
tough, right?
They have to wear masks on the field. I mean, it's like they got an electronic whistle, which is not very loud. So for kickers like you probably wouldn't hear it, and you'd go blow somebody up late.
Yeah. Don't throw a flag. I couldn't hear that thing.
So, but I think they have
agree.
done pretty well.
I agree with you. Tone, what do you got?
Mike, friend of the show, former Cleveland Browns GM Michael Lombardi has told us stories about giving you calls. Pat has told stories about belief calling Dean Blandino. Do you have any favorite stories about people calling you to bitch about calls?
Well, I think you have about an hour. I think probably my favorite one was Jim Mora when he was, with the Seahawks. He kind of a volatile guy anyways, but I used to get calls from coaches on Mondays and then as we got better communication, some came in like on Sunday night, but Mora capped them all because Mora was upset with a pass interference call and a replay decision in the first half of one of his games in Seattle. At halftime, as I was with a piece of cold pizza, he called me and just railed on me about the pass interference call and the replay decision. And I'm like, no, coaches, you only got 12 minutes. You got a 12-minute break. And I said, Jim, don't you think you ought to go make a couple adjustments?
Don't you tell me how to coach.
27-3, and you're calling me?
Oh my God!
And yelling at me. That probably was my favorite call. And when I see him, we always laugh about that.
I bet you his reaction was, "Oh, don't you tell me how to coach, okay? You just figure out how to tell your refs how to fix it." That is, oh my God! I wish I could.
It was easy for me to say, why are you calling me? Why don't you focus more on some adjustments since you're down 27-3? I'd have never said that if I was in the same room with him. But he was in Seattle and I was all the way in New York. So I was basically safe.
That's awesome. Good, Connor.
Hey, Mike, some guys come out of college like Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, and Trevor Lawrence seems to be one of these guys who you just know is going to be a guy. For refereeing, are there any guys in the pipeline that you just know are destined for a gold whistle, or do you have to wait until they're actually on the field?
Yeah, what Hockey League kid is doing something right now?
Yeah, I've been gone now for basically 11 years, and I know that what they're doing in preparation for the referee to go to the referee position is better. But to me, I looked at, there are certain guys that I looked at that when I saw in college, even if it wasn't in the referee position, I felt that they had it. John Perry being one of them.
I love John.
I actually made John Perry a referee in NFL Europe when we just brought him in from the Big Ten, and I knew it. I knew it. And here's a guy that worked 3 Super Bowls and to me knew how to communicate. He knew how to talk to coaches. And so I felt like that he was one of the best that I brought in. But you're getting some young guys like right now and that we brought in, that the league has brought in, that I think are going to be good. I think they're going to be steady. And I don't think I really look for superstars. I really don't. I really just want consistency in the referee position. I want the way they present the game to be consistent. I want their calls to be consistent. And I think that's most important to me. But right now, I'd say in the referee position, we're pretty good.
I'd like them to also turn off their microphone when they blow their whistle. That'd be something, if we could look into that, that'd be great.
That's a good one, though. I like blowing up the people. You get your attention really fast when you do that. I like them to turn off their microphone when they already thought they had turned off their microphone.
Yeah.
Because I've heard some outlandish things that we get to hear, and maybe most people don't. But there's been some outlandish things. Even once, I think about a coach's wife that went on.
Whoa. Hey, little hot mic situation.
Very nice, by the way.
Yeah, very nice, very nice, very nice. Obviously, she's a coach's wife. She has to be an absolute saint. The couple things about your answer right there. Whenever you talk about John Perry, I'm a big John guy, by the way, a big fan of it. He and I had hilarious verbal jousts during games. I thought he spotted me like 5 yards short on a punt in the first quarter. And boy, third quarter, I go out for my second punt, and I had not forgotten about it with John. and John came back at me, and I was like, oh, is that right, John? And then we had a field goal in the fourth quarter. Vinatieri was kicking a pretty big kick, you know what I mean? And while Vinny's taking his steps, John walks by, and he said something along the lines of like it was a perfect spot or something. I'm like, oh, John, get the hell. Like, I really like that. Couple follow-ups here. Whenever you talk about being a Super Bowl ref, him doing it 3 times, is that voted on by other refs? Is that voted on by the NFL? How do you go about getting that? Because there has been, and you don't have to name them, and I won't name them, but there's been a couple refs who are notoriously terrible at officiating who have done Super Bowls before, and that's like their resume to get in things.
Yeah, well, listen, no, it's not voted on by their peers. It's voted on by their bosses, basically, the supervisor and the head of officiating. But, 90% of it, maybe I should say 85% of it is all based on their grades, because they're graded for everything. But more specifically, they're graded about their calls that they make, calls that they don't make that they should have. And so if you reach a level, if you reach a percentage of accuracy, then it qualifies you to work, for example, in Tier 1, a Super Bowl or championship game. Tier 2, a wild card or division game. Tier 3, it qualifies you to go home for the rest of the season. So if you have a year, you may think it's somebody that doesn't handle a game particularly right, or doesn't seem smooth, but if he grades out to where he's on that top tier based on accuracy, then he's going to get in. I mean, he's going to get in. And I think that's the way it should be. And it's a clean slate every year. So the thing is, you could be Tier 1 in 2020, and then next year you could have a start over again and end up to be Tier 3. So I think it's fair. You put in some other things like test scores and fitness and some of that stuff into it too, but I think the system is fair. The only thing I would say about the tiers is, people say that they don't hold the people accountable. They don't hold refs accountable. Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
And like that Tier 3 thing, anybody can have a bad year and finish on the bottom tier. But if it's like you finish 2 years on the Tier 3 thing, adios amigo, you are gone. And that's one reason why there was a substantial turnover this year. New administration and Walt Anderson and Perry Fuel basically taken over, along with some difficulties from last year, and 11 new officials. That's a huge number. It's like a kicker. You shank 3 in a row and you're going to be on the bench.
Walt, I don't know how Walt gets that
never
gig.
did that.
I don't know how Walt gets that gig. I don't know how but we don't have to talk about it. Walt and I have history too, and it's not a good one like me and John. He actually pointed at me and said, "I'm calling it on 1," and then walked away and made the call. And I'm like, "Oh, fuck you, Walt. How about that?" Don't you think that
was the only time I didn't downgrade him for saying something bad?
Hey, don't you think refs should have a Pro Bowl vote? I do, personally. I think refs should have more of a say in the Pro Bowl vote than almost anybody, because you guys literally get to be on the field, watch things happen. You get to watch how players handle themselves on the field, by the way. I believe that refs should have a say in the Pro Bowl voting if they want Pro Bowl to actually get it right every single time, because
I think that would be, if you talk about bias and you talk about those types of things, if you get, I don't care anyone, Alex Kemp, who said, "Man, I had a great quarterback. I really loved Jimmy Garoppolo's year, for example, and then so I'm voting for Garoppolo, but then he didn't work 4 or 5 of the other quarterbacks in the league." So I think that would be difficult. Plus, I'd hate to think that you'd vote for a quarterback and you'd vote for a Tom Brady, and then people would find out, and then they accuse you of favoring Tom Brady. So I'd like to keep the refs, and I think we're safe to say, it's like, what are we going to do? We're going to have them vote for the best kicker? I mean, they're not football. They're not necessarily football people. They don't know the X and O's, and so as well as they probably should. So that's one thing I might disagree with you on. Not many things.
I agree, Mike. Hey, that's why great brains here, pal. Great brains. And that is, by the way, completely debunked my theory that I've had for like 5-10 years that refs should have a vote, by the way, because of usually my relationship with refs. I think I was always like, it feels like these refs know what the hell they're talking about. Because I'd get shit talked to me if it wasn't a good ball. And if it was a good ball, it was always like, "Ooh." While jogging by me, "Ooh, good one." Like it was like always a very... That's why I talk about refs so much, because I think I've had so much interactions with them. What do you got, Ty?
Mike, given that there has been a lot of turnover with these refs and a lot of guys are finding themselves in that third tier, do you see a situation in the future or near future where we have another replacement ref situation?
No, they just signed a new agreement, and so they're good through. I think it's 2025, and I think also that the league doesn't want to do that. I mean, they see what happens. It was a disaster the last time it happened, and I think that, in my opinion, what the officials gets a fair deal now. I think it's fair for what they do. I'd never argue if I felt like they deserved more, or if they asked for more, when you look at what they make versus players make and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's a fair deal. And there's out of every one of those refs, there's not a one of them that don't love what they're doing. They love this. I mean, they started officiating in Pee Wee football just to maybe get this opportunity, and they don't want to be locked out, and they don't want to go on strike. So hopefully this will not happen again. And I'll tell you, if it does, I would have to say that that'll be my last year at Fox, because I don't want to go through that again.
Oh, well, we hope that's not the case, because we love you on television, man.
Yeah, but I want to spend more time here at the beach, I mean, maybe that's why I can't quit, because Fox is paying the bill for that.
Well, you deserve it, by the way. I want to let you know that. And who's the crew tonight, and what shall we expect here as we wrap up this conversation that has been very...
I think I saw Alex Kemp, I think, is the referee, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't paid much attention because this week it was our charity foundation golf tournament for our Battlefields
Brad
golf.
Here we go. Hey, badass man. We appreciate you.
Enormously successful. We give scholarships to veterans and active service members to become officials in their community.
Here we go.
So I focused on that, and basically we had it Monday, and it was a lot of work, but it was tremendously successful with a great group of people that showed up. And so I'll kind of get ready. I'm going to actually, to prepare for tonight, I'm going to pull out the rule book. I'm going to get my beach chair, and I'm going to go out into the beach, and I'll do a little studying on the beach.
Yeah, like the Bible, you just open it up. Today we're reading Pass Interference Clause 4. Please turn your Bibles. Blah, 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 blah. That's awesome. We appreciate you, Mike.
Fetchability here.
Mike Pereira.
Mike.
He's the best, dude. He's the absolute best.
Legend.
He really is.
Yeah.
He's so cool, calm. You know what I mean? I feel like he is to potentially kicking. You know what I mean? What I potentially was there for a little bit. Whenever he starts talking about the things that happen as a ref and the standards, and hey, it's almost like, yeah, we didn't write the rules, okay? We're just here to enforce them, dude. All right, we didn't say that this couldn't happen. We're just telling you what you're not allowed to do by somebody else's. Hey, I'm on your side. Like, I wish a ref would do that. And that's the next time he comes on. Coming out of review, if they get one right, they should flex. Like we said, that is something that they should do a little bit more of, but they're taught to be,
So you're saying celebrate?
A little bit, yeah. Just like we fucking said, by the way. I mean, down to a goddamn inch, that was a completion. Call stance. That would be awesome. First down. Also, we could have saved the 7 minutes. You motherfuckers, these eyes are right, baby. Just like we said. First down. Like, I wish they would do that.
And if they were wrong, they could RKO each other too.
If they were wrong, they come out. Listen, it was obviously very hard to tell in real time, but once they slowed it down to 1/50th of the speed, we were very easy to tell that this was it. They would not be charged a timeout, and you get it. We're better luck next time. All right. First time. I wish there was a little bit more personality there, but if they did that, then fans would hate them.
Imagine all the refs running to that camera in the end zone.
Oh yeah. Turnover. Turnover. That would be amazing. By the way, I like that camera in the end zone thing.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Because you got to remember, it was the pick. Yeah. Right? That's what it was at the beginning, as a picture, a team picture, pick. And they were running, and it was just random cameras that they were going to. And the NFL was like, well, if you guys are going to continue to do this, let's at least make sure we own the. We own the. I think it's good. That one stadium had it down in the tunnel.
Yeah, it was super.
Just put it right down there. I don't know. I like it. I like what the NFL's doing. I like the referee conversation. In the second hour, we'll talk to Steve Levy here in about 10 minutes about Monday Night Football, how he's enjoying it. Everything like that, and his rise in ESPN. The guy's had every job there.
Oh, yeah.
Legend of a human. I'm a big fan. Can't wait to chat with him. You have about 6 minutes here until we're back on the other side. Go ahead and take a shit. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Well, hello, sensual piano keys. you sound incredibly inspirational and motivational. Big announcement coming from our company. You know, throughout my entire life, I've made decisions that people have said, ooh, that is stupid. You've read about them, you heard about them. When I was in high school, I went to an underground poker game, won $1,400, flew myself down to Miami, won a kicking contest, and got a scholarship to West Virginia the next day. I turned my back on soccer that day. Everybody said, you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? You have more schools looking at you for soccer than you do for football. What are you thinking? Fast forward 8 years with the Indianapolis Colts, and I was on top of the world, top of the mountain. How's the view? Not too shabby. And when I was at the top of my game, I decided, you know what? I'm going to pursue some other stuff. My friends and I are going to go to work on the internet. We're going to try to chase fulfillment as opposed to just a paycheck. And there were some interesting responses from people of power in the sporting world.
Make them tear the uniform off of you. Sure. Look, somebody needs to stage an intervention. People who know this guy, get to him now. Make him put his helmet back on and get to camp.
Oh, no, there's no intervention, Wilbon. No, no, no. Here we are 3 years after that date, and it's a celebration, bitches. Cut the music. Let's hand out some bags to the boys. For the boys. For the boys. Oh, by the way, that's for you, brother.
Oh my God.
Are you home? All right, come out the front door.
What's up, dude?
What is this?
What's this?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What the fuck? Fuck you. Oh, yeah, that is the bag of money.
FanDuel deal went through. There's $50,000 in it. Here's a backpack with $50,000 in it. $50,000 in it. Oh my God. Yes, there's $50,000 in there. Yes, there's $50,000.
Are you fucking serious?
Let's go.
You brought it back?
Oh, man. Let's go, dude.
Let's go. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yo, this is...
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, dude. We did it. Couldn't have done it without you. Oh, thank you.
Dude, it's a fuck ton of money.
You guys.
When I asked Dan Patrick for some advice, he told me always take care of the boys.
And you should know those people that are there with you, that their value cannot be overstated and should not be overstated.
So, Mike Wilbon, they didn't hold my jersey on me. They didn't hold my helmet on me. We didn't have an intervention. What we have is a celebration. Because when you bet on yourself, sometimes you hit for big. And for us, the only place we'll bet for the next couple years in an exclusive deal, FanDuel backed the Brinks truck up to our office. And we have never been more thankful, more excited, and more together as we promote the greatest sports book on planet Earth. I don't even know what that means.
Great movie.
The Hammers. It
West
makes
Ham
sense.
United.
We're the
Why is
Hammers.
Connor here?
Connor, what do you got?
Look, man, okay? You bet against Bill Belichick last week, and he came down and he broke that fucking hammer. And now you're going to come in here and you're going to bet on the fucking Jets on Monday Night Football. What the fuck? What the hell? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? What happened? That's not gonna happen. Do not believe this fucking bullshit. They will not lose 5 in a row. They will cover. I can't believe the gourd on you to fucking do that after last week. God damn it. With that being said, I also like at plus 9,000 Damian Harris to score a rushing touchdown and to score a receiving touchdown. 20 to win 1,800. And if you bet on the fucking Jets, let me know, because you're fucking wrong and you're losing money tonight. Damn it.
What a promo.
Hammer.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Hour 2 of this Thursday, November 12th, Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio starts right now. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. That thing goes ham, I do believe, is the proper term. In hour 1, you saw us berate Mike Pereira, rules official for Fox Sports, about officiating, and I agree with him. It does feel like the refs have been above average this year, as opposed to sometimes potentially being forced to get in the way because the way the rules are written, they didn't write the rules, they just enforce them, we get it. And maybe we are a little too harsh on them sometimes and don't lift up whenever they're good at other times. But I feel like we're a pretty fair and balanced show. Through and through.
Absolutely.
Mike Pereira is a great guest. Every time he comes on, I get excited for it. Like, whenever I found out this morning that Mike Pereira was coming on the show today, I was very pumped up about it. Can't wait to chat with him. Turns out he's living in one of the nicest houses in California because he's a great official and a great rules analyst for Fox, and we're very thankful for that. Before we get to our next guest, who is living legend, by the way, can't wait to chat with him on where his head is at the time because, I mean, he's doing something that, you know, I would assume was a massive goal for a long time. We have to have a Masters update because the Super Bowl of golf is happening, even though you potentially forgot that it was happening until this morning and you woke up and found out that it was a rain delay. They are now golfing, and we have a Masters update from Masters Tone.
Here you go, Tone.
Former major winner Webb Simpson and former world number 1 Lee Westwood have made the turn at -5.
Wow.
Tiger is through 7 and lurking at -3. Almost just dumped one on 16.
Let's go! See, that's the type of thing that gets me going. If there is a big cat lurking, if there's a jungle cat on the course getting hot,
Hell yeah!
that's good for golf.
Yeah!
Woo! Woo! Joining us now, probably man who feels the exact same way. Play-by-play commentator for Monday Night Football, formerly Sports Center. He also calls the Bahama Bowl, I believe, every single year. He's the official voice of that. He was in the XFL. I think at one point he was potentially writing scripts for people at ESPN or something like that. Feels like this guy has been at ESPN throughout most of our lives. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Levy.
Hey, Pat, how you doing? How you and the fellas doing?
Hey, we're great, especially after we just heard that Tiger Woods is 3 under through 7, almost just dunked one at 16. I mean, good things are happening at the Masters already pretty early.
Very good for all the golf people out there, yes.
Are you a golf person?
You know what? Not really.
No.
I know, it's weird, and it's like I'm like the only guy who's not, right? I love all sports. I was never bitten by the bug, and if you watch, you know, all those years of Sports Center, bud, right? If you watch closely, I've never done any of the golf highlights. Butcher Gross, Anderson, Van Pelt, Kenny Mayne. I've always sort of pushed golf and tennis. You know, I joke, hey, no country club sports. I'm a stick and ball kind of guy. And, it was just never my thing. I appreciate it. I'd like to go to the Masters one day and check it out as the event. But, yeah, just not my thing.
To be completely transparent, I opened the show with saying that I completely forgot that the Masters were even happening this morning until last night. I was watching Scott Van Pelt, and they put him in a closet down in Augusta to do SportsCenter from.
Right.
And it was, I learned as much as I possibly could from SVP. And who's the old guy, Peter North's dad?
Yeah, Andy North.
Andy North. They had an entire... You all right, Steve? Take it easy, pal. But they had like a 30-minute run there where I learned everything. And I completely forgot it happened. It's November, okay? We're football humans. This is just kind of the way this thing goes. But Tiger's in it, so that means everybody's in it, including Steve Levy, I would assume. But let's talk about the football world. When you got the Monday Night Football gig, I was so happy for you. Like, genuine, legitimate happiness for you. Because how long have you been in ESPN?
In my 28th year.
So what did you start out doing 28 years ago?
So back in the day, there was no ESPN2 even. There was no ESPN radio. There was, no .com. It was only SportsCenter. And so back in those days, there was no, sit around 6 months and watch everybody. I did the 2 a.m. SportsCenter right away, like 2 days in. Now, so there's no LA, obviously. So we are live in Bristol, 2:30 a.m., 5 nights a week for a half hour. And Pat, here's the kicker. Sorry about that. Didn't mean that. Here's the kicker.
Pretty good.
We got every single sport in. We got every Major League Baseball score in, regardless of how bad the game was, in a 30-minute show. And now, we do 90 minutes on Sunday, and we get half the games in because there's, all the newsmakers, there's commercials and long-form interviews and those kinds of things. But yeah, 2:30 a.m. Eastern. Welcome to Bristol, Connecticut, straight from New York City. That was quite an adjustment.
Yeah, it's awesome. By the way, getting a chance to get on the air there immediately, and your personality, I assume, carried you well. Did you enjoy the transition that sports coverage took? Because what you just said there, it sounded like you guys were basically just a news report, like, hey, this happened, this many hits, this. Now the entertainment, right, is of ESPN. It feels like that is a much larger role. You said 90 minutes, you covered half the things. You see some shows where they're only covering two things. Last night, Scott Van Pelt literally was just the Masters the entire show. Yeah. So it feels like, have you enjoyed the evolution of ESPN and what it has done both entertainment-wise and sports-wise? Or is there a part of you that's like, hey, back whenever we were just rattling them off, there was a place for that as well?
Back in the day, we were like straight down the middle, right? We were an independent journalist, no favoritism. And now I think really the beauty, and this might have changed 10 or 12 years ago, they kind of encourage us to be sort of fans, fans of our own team, wherever we grew up, whatever college we went to. It's okay to show favoritism and have a good time and sort of allow us to express, more of our personalities. So it's definitely been an adjustment. And, that's something in the studio, right? I'm still not bringing out my favoritism or showing my fanboyness, say, when we're doing the broadcast.
No, of course not. No, of course not.
Can you see this giant jet stadium behind me?
Yeah, your team stinks, though, so you really can't.
Puke.
You know what I mean?
Hey, I did the Zoom with Belichick from this very seat, and I took it down.
Smart. How was that? Wait, I've never been privy to a single conversation of Belichick. I've never heard him actually do a convo. Whenever I see mic'd up clips of him, I always watch it because I feel like or to do your job, it's like the only time I get to learn about him as a human, because I know his press conferences, that's not him. He's just, I'm doing this because I have to. He's Marshawn Lynch before Marshawn Lynch was Marshawn Lynch. Like, hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined, basically, is what Bill Belichick, legend. Marshawn Lynch, legend. So anytime I get a chance to hear how a conversation goes, I'm always so intrigued by it because he's the greatest of all time. Those Zoom calls that you have with him, I assume he's telling you nothing, or is there a little bit of give and take in that whole thing?
He's telling us nothing but longer. You know what I mean? Like in press conferences, he shuts people down, 1-word, 2-word answers, and I get all that. So I thought Bill was actually very fair with us. Again, full sentences. Certainly a paragraph for Greasy and Riddick, and a couple of sentences from me anyway. But he was great, and I definitely learned some things. What I really want to do is I really like to have a beer with Bill Belichick. I've heard so many times that if you can get him at like a social event out and about, he's just so relaxed and so enjoyable and funny to be around. I would just love to see that side of him.
Hey, don't you own a bar?
I'm a very small minority owner of a sports bar in Boston, yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Steve, you guys watching golf in there?
We watch everything, I'm sure. I don't get there as much as I used to. Shout out the Greatest Bar, which is really spitting distance from TD Garden. I mean, it's right across the street. Feel free to stop by if the Celtics and Bruins come back again.
Hey, good promo there. And if bars come back again, which it doesn't seem like potentially soon that's going to happen. Let's. How's it been getting to call Monday Night Football? Like, you, 28 years. Everybody at ESPN holds Monday Night Football in such high regard, obviously. When you get the job, I started off this whole conversation. I want to take a little trip with you there about how genuinely happy I was. I really was, because I've been a fan for so long. Because normally when you're on, I'm still up, right? Like, I knew a lot about you and your personality, and the fact that you just said, I'm a stick and ball guy, not the country club guy. I think that has resonated with a lot of people. So getting you your opportunity to get into the Monday Night Football booth, how has it been as opposed to what you thought going in? And is there that whole, like, do you read or can you not keep up with anything that's being said about you, whether it's bad or good?
So first of all, let me say thank you, Pat. You were tremendous privately and on social media too. I appreciate the text note and all that stuff. It obviously meant a lot to me. It's just something you don't see coming, right? There's one chair, right? There's one chair of Monday Night Football, like we do, 15 college football games every week. There's only one seat at ESPN for the NFL. So the odds on that, you really don't see that coming. You certainly never expect it. And so when it finally did come, I was just over the moon. And, it's like getting called up to the big leagues, right? In baseball, you see it in all the movies. Just to tell my parents, I'm so lucky they're still with me. And tell my sister, and then to have the moment with my kids, who my boys are huge football fans. And the only drawback was they said I wasn't be able to watch Monday Night Football with them. I said, hey, give me a couple of years, maybe I can take you with me to the games. But I watch Thursday Night Football with them now.
So nice.
So that's worked out. But the job itself, listen, we are a work in progress. I'd say the whole show is, but really specifically myself. I think I'm getting more comfortable every week. I'm still really excited to be in that spot. I'm not going to defend that to anyone. That's how I really feel. I am genuinely enthusiastic about everything I do, but especially an all-time dream job. Here's some of the stuff. Listen, I'm not one of those to say, hey, I don't see Twitter. I see a lot of it. But listen, I cancel out, hey, Steve, you're great, and hey, Steve, you suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to.
I eliminate that, right? That's let's say that's 50-50. That's fine. Some of the criticism can be constructive and can be helpful. Hey, you're too much on this. You need more on this. You're too high on a 2nd and 4 running play. Nobody cares. I love the tidbit about the kid from Division II Bemidji State making it into the NFL. So some of that is constructive, and that comes from fans sometimes too. So I think there's real value in that. I am a regular guy. I do take this stuff seriously, and I want to get better every single week, and I think we're making some progress there.
I think so too. And that was, by the way, very transparent of you to answer the way you did, and I'm thankful that you did. Let's talk about a little bit of it, because I heard you say the 2nd and 4, not as excited, and you say you're an excitable guy and you enjoyed it. Do you ever worry, though, that maybe the thoughts of a few that are being stressed on social media could potentially be changing what makes you you? And also, in the game, what do you think you're getting better at? Like, what is some real changes you think that, like, the crews, because I think you guys are getting better as well as an entire crew, not just you, by the way. It's an entire team thing. And you have no fans in the stands. So, like, it's a dynamic, weird year to even get your first start with that crew. But what are some of the changes? And do you ever think, like, oh, this is just like 100 assholes when we got, I don't know, 3 million people or 2 million people watching? That's such a small sample size. You know what I mean? Like, how do you balance that out?
Yeah. So the criticism that I do take and accept and think, hey, you know what, maybe there's something to that, then I'll watch the game back and I'll watch the spot back and I'll either agree or disagree with said criticism. And if I agree with it, then I'll fix it. So, one of my strengths, and I think this sounds weird, but one of my strengths, I think, as a play-by-play guy is I think I speak a lot less than most play-by-play guys, generally speaking. Mm-hmm. Now, some of that also has to do, I have 2 analysts, right? We're a 3-man booth. Maybe there's one other 3-man booth in all of the NFL. So that plays a role, and especially like the layout was my strength, right? Therefore, the guy who doesn't speak as much, you lay out, you let the crowd roar on third down or after a big score. Now, of course, there is no crowd. So they like took away one of my strengths already, you know? But so it's worked out. I got a lot of voices in my head quite often, but especially on game day, we're getting a lot of help, and the curated audio that I think you guys hear at home, like, honestly, for the Jets game, and I tried to make this point, you could hear the crowd doing the Jets, Jets thing, and I'm looking around and there's nobody in the stadium. So that's just so bizarre. So my strength also, besides not speaking so much, is, Pat, and I mean this is the honest God truth, like, I know what I don't know, right? Like, yeah. I know my strengths and weaknesses. And in Greasy and Riddick, I really have two of the most cerebral football minds, and their football IQ is off the charts. And so I'm much more like the guy at home on the couch who just happens to be sitting next to him. That's kind of my philosophy for the whole thing.
The thought of you being incredible at being able to read a room, right, which is the crowd thing, laying off for the crowd. You being like that being one of your main strengths and be like, all right, congrats, dude, 28 years, you got Monday Night Football. Also, your ability to read a room and everything like that, just go ahead and take that one out. Make you play left-handed. That's very interesting. I never even really thought about that. But whenever you do, describe your style there, that's an immediate thought is there's probably a moment where the crowd can tell the story a lot better than any human can. And now you just kind of gotta deal with it. But hey, everybody's doing it, Steve. Okay. So get over it. Get over it, Steve. That's what you always have to think. That's that's always well, everybody has to do it. It's like, okay, all right. But not everybody reads the room like me, so why don't you get off my ass?
Like my team has a lot of injuries. Really? Doesn't every team have a lot of injuries? Or what are we talking about, right?
Yeah. What game? The first game, you guys went on second after Herbie and Fowler. What was the nerves going into that, or were you excited? Like, what was the thoughts going into that as they're counting down, right? Because in your head, you got to count down till live, right? So now that I've called a couple games, all right, and it's very much smaller sample size, but there's always a lot of conversation, right? There's always a lot of communication, information being changed. Yeah. This lighting's happening, this lighting's happening, and then there's a moment like 10 seconds before you go live where everything is quiet. Everything is completely quiet except for the person that's counting it down. Adam Amin used to, at that exact moment, Adam Amin would look at me and Hasselbeck and give me like a fist bump, and he was like, almost like, hey, like it's game time right now, and I'll be like, oh yeah, shit, we're about to do this. Like we are about to go live or whatever. What were your thoughts in that moment of quiet while they're counting you into the first Monday Night Football game of your life?
So I got lucky. We did the same game last year, right? We got the second game of the first week last year. So that was really my first taste of it. And honestly, Pat, because where I grew up, I am so more well-versed in the NFL than I am in college football. Growing up in New York and the Northeast and all that, I thought I was going to be much more nervous than I was. And look, I was so over the top prepared for the game last year. It was Oakland and Denver. We spent a week out at Raiders camp, a week in Broncos camp. Greasy and I do the Broncos preseason games. So I was really in a position to be successful. But the story is they played the billboards, and it was Tim Corrigan, who was our producer. I don't know if you got to work with Timmy or not. And the music comes in, and he's in my ear. Okay, go, Steve, that kind of thing. And I'm like, no. And he goes, Steve, like now he's concerned that I can't hear him. There's something wrong with my headset. Greasy is giving me an elbow in the ribs. Go. And I'm like, no, I got this. I want to hear the music, and then I want to hear my voice come over that music. And that was kind of my Monday Night Football moment. And listen, I know people talk about it. I can't explain it. The music is so iconic. Yeah. For someone who grew up watching it when I did, in that era, it still resonates. And that was my real moment.
You're only the 9th play-by-play guy in the 50-year history of Monday Night Football. That's pretty cool. Connor, what do you got?
Steve, you've been in sports for so long, and obviously seeing guys on TV is much different than seeing them in person. Has there ever been an athlete that you've seen that's like, wow, seeing them on TV doesn't do them justice? And also, thank you for being an owner of the greatest bar. It was one of the only bars in Boston that accepted my fake ID in high school.
There you go.
Thank you.
The greatest bar.
Yeah, the greatest bar. Thank
you. We used to own a bar called The Place. You probably went in there in junior high school.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that one, too?
I think they sold booze out the back.
I'm impressed by people, right? Like we see them as athletes, and then you get to meet them. Like Larry Fitzgerald, like he's one of those guys. I'm so impressed when guys turn out to be like superstar players, turn out to be superstar people. I go back to hockey too, like Wayne Gretzky doing some of his games, and we'd show up in the building. The Kings had played the night before, and the team isn't even there for the morning skate, and Gretzky is in the trainer's room. The only guy who wouldn't have to show up until 15 minutes before the game. He's the first guy in the building. And the other cool story on Gretz is till the very end of his career, he had a roommate. Can you imagine that? A roommate on the road. Like in baseball, it's part of their union. A rookie gets his own room and probably a suite.
Smart.
And Wayne Gretzky, his last year in the NHL, he still had two double beds and had a roommate on the road.
Yeah, that's why Mario Lemieux is the greatest hockey player of all time. That right there is the only reason. Next game, who do you have? You have somebody playing the Bears. Vikings playing the Bears on Monday. Has preparation already began? When do those Zoom calls happen? Do you guys watch film together, all three of you? Like, how do you guys operate whenever you're separated from each other?
So normally we would, man. We would, absolutely. We go to the facility and watch film, but everything's on Zoom now. We start pretty much as a team preparing on Wednesday. The week goes so quickly from Monday night. It's really amazing, right? Because we travel home on Tuesday, go grab the kids and be a dad and be a regular guy. And then on Wednesday, we've already started to formulate some thoughts. We all do a sort of a Zoom with 6 or 7 of us to go over the past game, look at some tape, and then think about some ideas. And then earlier this morning, we just got off a Zoom, 50, 60 people, all of our production team laying out the elements for the upcoming week. So it's you kind of cycle through it, kind of never ends, no days off, as I like to say. And even on the plane back, man, we're watching the previous week's game. But it's a great process. It's a great flow. I miss being around my team. That's the real beauty of football and probably the sports. You're traveling with a team every week, and you're a crew, and you hang together, and you're friends. No, not the case?
No, yeah, I agree with you because we literally just heard Aaron the other day talk about how they can't eat at the same lunch table, and in the locker room they can't talk, and that's a massive part of coming together. It's like that is a huge part of a team coming together. You guys are a brand new team. You don't think about that. Like, you don't, the refs, Mike Pereira was like, these refs don't get to talk to each other before the game. Like all these other things that are kind of, live in the football world. We're thinking about just the football itself. That has probably been a little bit of a chemistry fuckery a little bit as well, I would assume, in the entire thing.
It's a factor. And I heard Pereira, and thanks for him shouting out John Parry, because great dude. So Greasy Riddick, myself, Lisa Salters, and John Parry, and our producer and director, Phil Dean and Jimmy Platt, we have not been in the same room a single time, and we are headed into week 10. So, so that is...
You guys suck! Hey, you need to call the game better! I'm sick of this!
Let us go in the same car to the stadium together. Can you imagine that?
It's 2nd and 4. This guy needs to stop. Like, you have no chance of having Kevin.
Nope. So... we're playing with the car, but you said it before, man. Everybody's dealing with the same.
Everybody's playing with it. What do you got, Ty?
Steve, working at ESPN for as long as you have, obviously you've got to work with some really talented people. But was there one co-anchor you had on SportsCenter where it seemed like every time you were with them, it's like, okay, this guy really allows me to throw the fastball?
So I've loved all the guys. I give you my 2 favorites, and they're my favorites for all the wrong reasons, okay? We've got a lot of talented guys. I got to work with Gary Miller. You remember Gary Miller?
The answer is no, Steve, but it sounds like we should, by the way.
We called him Meat. His nickname was Meat.
Miller.
Yeah.
Whenever there was a play at the plate, that was his call. He is Meat, at home plate.
Oh, yeah.
The other guy was... The other guy was Bill Pito. Tell me you guys have heard of him, the judge, Bill Pito.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Oh, Bill. Yeah. Bill Pito.
Oh, yeah. He's at MSG now. Anyway, those were 2 guys who kept me loose in commercial. We had the best time in commercial breaks.
Man.
Just so much fun to be around. But I've been blessed. Listen, I broke in with Keith and Dan, you know what I mean? In that era, I wanted to be them. And when one of them would be sick or out for some reason, I'd get to fill in with the other. That's the case with the all-time great Levy blooper. Perhaps you're familiar with. Dan was out sick. I worked with Keith, and we had the whole bulging incident.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been lucky to be around those guys.
Yeah. It was awesome, by the way. I don't want to say you should do more of that, but it was awesome. And by the way, with those two guys, Meat and Mr. Pudo there, you guys had great commercial breaks. I think that was the thing that was talked about you guys. If you guys would have done that on the air, I think we all very quickly would have been like, oh, Meat, we remember Meat.
Awesome. Meat Miller.
That's very fair, yeah.
Very fair. Tone, what do you got?
Steve, you were talking about preparing for the game already. How much acid does the person who comes up with those cartoons you guys play every game? How much acid do they do, and when do they do that?
Those things are awesome, dude.
So, I don't know how they get to that point, but when you hear me giggling on the air, reading the card they put in front of me, I mean, that is genuine. Like, we can't wait to see it, and I know I get a glimpse out of it. Usually on Sunday morning, I get the first look at it. We'll play a little bit with the copy itself, but shout out to Aces, Joe Accordino from our crew. He gets a lot of the credit for that, and they're going to kill me because I can't think of the animator's name. But he's never on the call. He's so behind the scenes.
Does Steve not care about the team?
He hates animators. Oh my God.
No Team Steve.
They're good people.
I can't think of the guy's name. They're going to kill me. Yeah.
He's just animator to you, huh?
Oh, wow. Just some animator that's living in his bedroom animating for 15 hours a day straight. Then going to sleep and getting it barely done at the end.
For one 30-second clip a week, but very memorable. And I should remember his name. It's so memorable. I will tweet it out. I will tweet it to you guys.
Thank you.
Maybe you can give him some love later.
Yeah, there'll be an update. We are a big live update show. Yep. I remember those things are awesome. Nick, what do you got?
Steve, you used to call a lot of hockey games when ESPN had the rights. There's rumors now they might get back in the mix when the NHL's rights are up. Is that something you'd want to do again? Kind of double dip and be Monday Night Football and be voice of the NHL again?
Hey, man, I mean, that sounds like a pretty good year to me. I don't think I could do it during the NFL season. I'm not sure how that would work, maybe, but certainly could dive in, make myself very available for the home stretch in March, right through the Stanley Cup final, me and my buddy Barry Melrose. That would be awesome. Those were my two loves growing up, hockey and the NFL. And people always sort of, that was one of the things when I got the Monday night gig, they're like, hey, he's a hockey guy, But I fought that with college football. He's a Sports Center guy. But the hockey thing was the same thing. It was inventory. We had a lot of hockey games at the time. So, but those are my two loves growing up. And let me see some stick handling. Yeah.
Oh, look at those dangles.
Up on edge with your stick and then bat it out of the air.
Hold on. We have that footage. I have done that here. Those are Canadips, by the way. Tobacco list pouches that you can replace your chewing habit with. Canadip CBD. That I just broke the tin there.
Heck of a slap shot.
You know what I mean? If you ever need a guy, there was a chance I was potentially going to be a third man in a booth for you for XFL, and then all of a sudden I got demoted to field for the second team. But if you need somebody, in the hockey world, pal, I got dangles, sticky mitts, you name it, and also a lot of hockey knowledge, pal. What do you know about Ron Francis?
Plus, it sounds like you and Mario are tight, so you could get Mario involved too.
Mm-hmm. Bingo.
You get it.
Bingo. Yarmer. Hey, I'll call him out as Czechoslovakia or wherever the hell he's at, wearing his Wranglers. I'll get his ass over here.
He might still be playing Yager,
He is, actually. It's just like the tax-free stuff over there. He's just raking in money. Steve, we can't thank you enough for joining us, man. You were here for like 30 minutes. You didn't have to do that, obviously. We appreciate you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support, Pat, you and your crew. You've always been great to me, and you keep up the fine work. Stay healthy, fellas.
Hey, you too, man. And I respect the fact that you're like, hey, if you're going to criticize us, let's make sure it's fair. Let's make sure it's maybe constructive so we can get better. And also, if we're doing well, make sure you're putting that out there as well. That's a good call.
3 phases of the game, bro. 3 phases.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Levy.
Yeah!
Hey, I want to let you know a little snapper I just ripped it right there.
Oh, my gosh.
Legit.
Scared the hell out of me.
Hey, and the dangles were going.
Oh, yeah.
I was in like a little bit of a rhythm there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty pumped up about that. Haven't touched a stick in a while, Pop.
I have to join a league.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, If they got deck hockey out here, I'd be running around that damn deck.
They don't. They're too scared out here to have it.
Two country club out here.
Two country club out here.
Do you know what deck hockey is?
Yeah, of course I know what deck hockey
Bro,
is.
it's the best. It is.
Northeast knows.
It is hockey for those who can't afford to play actual hockey.
Yep.
Run around on like a basketball court with boards up.
It's like gym class.
Our town, big deck hockey town. Nick, actually, world champion deck hockey. Nick, world champion deck hockey player. That's real.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to get into it, but yeah.
And Jens Farley.
Slap the ball around a little bit.
Jens Farley, Joe Hadley, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, we are a big deck hockey town.
man.
Even though I can't skate for shit. There's a lot of people that assume I'm good at all sports or whatever because most sports I am good at. I can't skate for the life of me. And we used to go to Friday Night Open Skate every single Friday for like 10 years, and I just couldn't figure it out. For whatever reason, I am a land animal. You get me on ice, I am in trouble. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I just couldn't figure it out.
Is it balance, or do you have cement in your skates?
No, it's not cement in my skates, pal. I think it's this muscle right here. So the one that's on the outside of the shin. Okay, so there's a muscle right here. You get shin splints on the inside of your shin.
Yep.
Okay, so everybody thinks like the outside of your shin, it hurts. Those are shin splints. Shin splints are on the inside. Okay, the outside, there's a muscle that runs there. Soft ass. This is the softest thing on my body. This just locks up. I'll get into like I've never snowboarded because I tried the boots on and my thing just locked up. Ice skating every Friday night was a lot of fun until I couldn't skate anymore. I had to watch everybody because my legs were locked up. Just made no sense at all. So I just can't do it. But running around with a stick, ha! I get loose out there. Jay used to be a great goalie too.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Jay.
Jay was a great goalie.
Dominic Hasek back
Happy
there.
birthday, Jay.
Jay, who was your goalie? Jay used to be like I think a fan of hockey goalies, right?
Yeah, I don't remember though. I mean, I like a lot. Barrasso.
Barrasso. We used to have a good time though. Jay, we would get the net out in the garage, in the driveway, and just be shooting things.
You guys
Out on
just
the road.
do
Out on the road too.
just deck or roller as well?
Car.
Get some roller
Don't
blades.
ride. I don't want to move the net every fucking time.
We would leave enough room. They just wouldn't get it.
And by the way, those people had long days. Listen, we are going to take our time moving this. If you will not, there is plenty of space. Hey, hit the stick off the ground. Fucking go around. It was a good time. Man.
Fake slap shot at them.
There's a guy. I have a good hockey shot. Like I think Nick has a great one, right? World champion.
Yeah, you are a post up and shoot guy.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
you're
can't
just-
move much.
Find your spot, find the office, find the sweet spot, hammer it home.
Sniper. That's basically what I am.
Bash brother.
And by the way, both hands.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
ambidextrous.
I use a flat stick like Sidney Crosby because I can go both hands.
Gordie Howe. You're basically Gordie Howe.
Yeah, that's what people say. And also in ping pong, no, you got two forehands coming because that paddle will get tossed to the left. I don't have a backhand. Everybody's like, that's a weakness. No. When you have two forehands, everything's good.
Yeah.
That's what I am in hockey too. What? Goal. Celebrate. Let's get to the break here. 33 minutes in. We'll answer some phone calls on the other side. Taylor Lewan joins us in less than an hour to talk about tonight's Thursday night football matchup between the Colts and the Titans. We'll have some Masters updates and AJ Hawk. A lot of things to happen here Thursday, November 12th. The Pat McAfee Show, Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports. Let me tell you a little story about these statistics. Troy Polamalu, okay? Fucking Troy Polamalu. So we had a fake for the Pittsburgh Steelers that was a 100%er. We didn't even have a cancel the goddamn play because it was a 100%er. If we ever end up in this situation, inside the 7-yard line on the left hash, it is a 100%er that the C gap will be wide open and we will just part the C to the left. It'll be a touchdown. 100%er. We're playing in Pittsburgh, the city I grew up in. I grew up in Pittsburgh. I won the punt, pass, and kick national championship, AJ. National championship, AJ.
Congrats.
AJ, did you ever win the national championship punt, pass, and kick?
I think I got third or fourth out of 4 at the Nationals.
I'm proud of you, man. Anyways, so we're there in that stadium, okay? A lot of McAfee's in there. A lot of McAfee's in Pittsburgh. I'm going to score my first fucking touchdown, night game, Sunday Night Football, I believe it was, right here, touchdown. We get into that situation, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is really going to happen. We're like on the 6 on the left hash. It's 4th and goal now. Field goal team's jogging on. I'm like, well, fuck. It's about to. I'm ready. I am ready for this to happen. So I get out there. I get down. Vinny's like happy for me. Vinny's like very excited. He's like, let's fucking go. Like Vinny's excited for me at this moment. I'm like, here we go. So I make the call. I forget what it was. So I start saying it, right? And everybody's looking at me like, okay, bright eyes. Here we go. Let's get after it. Offensive linemen are dead ass tired. They do not want to be in the middle of a field goal anyways. So they're just like, all right, I don't give a fuck if you die here, but this should work. Let's get some points. And all of a sudden, I go through my cadence, I call it, I get down, and Troy Polamalu's fucking ass goes ahead for however long his career was at this point. I think it was like 9 years or 8 years at this point. Not a once has he ever gone to this side of the field over here to the left and stood right in the C gap. Never. He lined up exactly where he had lined in film 100% of the time. And then as soon as I got to like the second cadence right before set, he just bounced his little ass right over to the C gap. And I like stopped everything I was doing and I literally just looked at him. And I gave him like what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, why are you there right now? And then I stood up and said, we are kicking it. We have to kick it. We are kicking this. And then I get down, and Vinatieri kicks it, and I jog off the field, and Chuck Pagano comes running up next to me. He's like, hey, good job. What you see? I said, what did I see? Polamalu just fucking went right into the goddamn C-gap. What did I see? What did I see? And he goes, okay, sounds good. Good call then. And good call then. And then Vinatieri's like, hey, way to go, buddy. I'm like, way to go? Are we not going to talk about how big of a fucking asshole Troy Polamalu is for what just happened right there? So that's.
I saw the angel of death waiting for me in the C gap.
It's unbelievable. What, you thought I was going to run him over? No way. He's probably going to strip me and score a touchdown the other fucking. That's Polamalu, bro. That ain't just your backyard football with your son. These are professional fucking athletes. He'd probably jump over the lineman, pick me up, and run me into the other fucking end zone if he wanted to. That's what he would have done.
The hard-hitting safety of his generation, too. I mean, Ed Reed, great cover safety. I don't know that you would have feared him, but
Ed Reed, I would have feared Ed Reed. Yeah, if I saw Ed Reed in that C-gap, absolutely. E.D. Reed, boy, the best safety you ever seen, boy. I ain't doing shit to Ed Reed.
No, Ed Reed would have made the tackle. I'm saying that Polamalu would have shaved years off your life.
Oh, my God. I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC-regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Had to do it, man. It's Masters, dude.
Masters week.
Bro, it's Masters, man. Everybody knows that. And sit back and enjoy this thing.
Oh, yeah.
If I say I got to go, there's this place down by the coast.
Oh. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on Thursday, November 12th. Allegedly, Connor just told me this information. The following Tiger around Augusta right now is currently Peyton Manning, Roger Goodell smoking a stoke, and Rob Manfred. And then the tweet says that membership has its privileges.
Yep.
So right now, the members at Augusta, okay, which is impossible to get. Peyton just got in there. I think it's impossible to get in. It's like this big deal, okay? Come eat, regular sandwiches and hot dogs and stuff. And listen, I understand. It's the creme de la creme of golf.
Crown jewel.
It's the crown jewel of high society. I very much understand that. This year, since there's no fans, they're allowed to just roam. Awesome. It is probably incredible to be a member right now. Like the thought of Peyton, Raj, and Rob Manfred potentially, hopefully, teaching Rob Manfred how to speak. That would be probably a good use of all their time, but they're probably not doing that. Maybe that's why Tiger's playing so well, by the way. So Tiger's playing really well right now, right?
He has moved to -4. Leader's still at -5.
By the way, Tiger Woods, pretty competitive human, I think, right?
Oh, yeah. You could say.
Peyton Manning, very good friend of Tiger, also pretty competitive human being. There was no chance Peyton and Tiger were going to lose strictly because of how competitive those two are. I'm not saying that Tom Brady isn't super competitive. He is. Phil Mickelson, he's competitive. The thought, though, of I've actually gotten to see Peyton challenge friends to be better at what they want to do. I would assume that Peyton being there one of his really good friends, like watching his every move. Tiger wants to put on a show for the conversation that's going to happen afterwards with Peyton. Now, is Peyton going to follow him around all weekend? And if that's the case, are Peyton and Tiger on a destiny course to being undefeated in golf, and the Masters being one of them as a team on the course? I'm thinking so. He's dominating right now, right? Where's the leader at? 5?
Webb Simpson's -5.
And he's at 4 through.
Tiger's 4 through 10.
Here we go.
Wow. Let's go.
Hey, the Masters, by the way, he's very pumped about this.
Mm-hmm.
The golf people, it's on CBS, right? CBS is like very pumped about this. They're like, hey, listen, we don't want to root for anybody, right? Because it is the Masters. Okay, let's have a little bit of respect. And whoever wins the green jacket's awesome. Bubba Watson, 2-time winner, he's awesome and everything like that. But we're going against the NFL on Sunday, and our only chance is if old Eldrick Woods is swinging the club well.
Yep.
And this is, of course, he always plays well at, and he's hot right now. Let's go, Masters. Let's go, Masters. Any other updates from over
Yeah,
there?
John Rahm, who started +2, is now also -4 with Tiger, so he's also playing he was one of the favorites going into the tournament.
And John Rahm just a couple days ago skipped in a hole-in-one.
Yes, incredible. Yes, he did.
It was like a 3-skipper, by the way. You ever go up to, a creek or lake or river or something like that, you can pick up a rock, you try to skip it. Some of your friends just can't do it. John Rahm, he skipped that goddamn rock right into the hole.
Mm-hmm.
That was unbelievable. Goodbye, John Rahm. Here was the outright betting at the beginning, or is this updated right now?
This is today's.
This was this morning.
Okay, so this was going into the tourney. Going into the tourney, not updated live odds. Dustin Johnson was at +700. He was the favorite. Bryson DeChambeau at +900. Long balls hitter, by the way. John Rahm +1,000. He's made a move to -4 now. Rory, Xander Schauffele, Justin Thomas, Brooks Koepka, Hideki Matsuyama, Patrick Cantley, and Tyrell Holton and Bubba Watson. I've heard of 60% of that list. Have I said those names accurately?
Yeah, pretty much.
You nailed it.
Shout out to me, man. Pretty pumped up about that. You got to start remembering the rules from where you think the person's potentially from with their language. I mean, I'm pretty pumped up about that. Okay. I hope Tiger wins.
Yeah.
I hope Bubba wins. Okay? I hope Bubba wins because there's a chance we could potentially talk to him again.
True.
Yeah.
Right? Then after that, for entertainment purposes, I hope there's a red shirt marching through Georgia on Sunday. That's what I hope is happening. Let's get to some phones, shall we? Let's go to Bravo in Texas. Bravo, this is Papa Alpha Tango calling. What do you want to talk about, pal?
Delta over.
Hey, what's up, guys? Love the show. I was going to ask, Pat, from your experience from being the Colts and, go playing other teams, I wonder, does the culture itself, like the Packers, or one time I went to Boston, and big Patriots fans, they will not go to a fucking wedding on Sunday because the Patriots are playing Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I was wondering, does that have a lot of effect with the team itself for that culture? Because with Texans, in Houston, we do have a culture, but with the Texans, it feels like from I guess the owners and for what the players they decided to select or choose, they want to be like this clean, quiet type of team.
Interesting question there by Bravo. I don't know what he was hinting at. I think he was talking about how the city of Houston, was he maybe talking about like the city matching the team? Because I think Lombardi has talked about that before, where he calls out Matt Nagy actually in Chicago, because Chicago is like a tough town and the fans are diehard fans. And if it's a 3rd and 1, they need a first down, he'll do a triple option instead of just punching somebody in the mouth, which would be a very much Chicago move. But Nagy is, what's that, bud?
Just pound it down.
Okay, but at Viva Lazito, Chicago Bears fan, Bear. If he gets first down, though, you don't care.
Yeah, first down.
So so the pound it down anger is that not genuine then? Because if it gets
it's very angry. Yeah, if you do like 4 or 5 sweeps, that sucks.
It just punch the guy in the mouth.
Punch him right in the mouth. Punt it down.
And also, I think he was also talking about if your fans loyal or not. If they're loyal, Whether or not that affects the team. I think it potentially helps free agency because if you have a loyal fan base, you probably have an owner that's willing to spend because he's probably making a lot of money off of tickets and sales and everything like that because loyal fan bases probably spend more money. So I think it definitely helps whenever the fans are very active and loyal for a lot of reasons other than in the locker room on game days because guys in the locker room on game days do not give a damn if the fans are a super loyal bunch or not. They're trying to play their absolute best so they can make as much money as possible or they can win a bunch of games. So one of the loyal fan base, I think, has a much more broad effect on a team as opposed to the day-to-day operation. And I don't think that's disrespecting anybody. I think that's very real. I mean, the season ticket holders are like the backbone of a team because that's your automatic income coming into the building, which is paying for everything that's happening. So like you appreciate and respect the hell out of the loyal fans and they are a massive part of the success of the team. But when it comes to the actual players, like don't give a damn. But a packed stadium is a lot better than an empty one. That is 100% an advantage for your defense. That is a real thing and having in that environment. But when it comes to how you actually play, I don't think that really matters. But I think what he's talking about is he's a Houston Texans fan and that stadium, every time I went down there and played, and for the Colts, for them, for a long time, it was like this is the division championship game, and it was always on Thursday night, it felt like, or a primetime game. That place was the loudest stadium I've ever been in. Always packed, always loud. It was awesome. So I think what he was potentially trying to say is they are a diehard fan base, and it feels like the team isn't keeping up with them. And now you hear somebody was fired yesterday, or 2 days ago, director of PR, Amy... Oh, let's go. We can do it, boys. We can do it. It's CIC, I think, is in the name. I could see the tweet right now. Come on. Get it out of there.
Palcic.
What's it?
Palcic.
Wow. You. Yeah. See, by the way, that's how the brain operates. You just got a chance to peek inside of it. As I'm talking here, I'm running down a grocery store aisle, just grabbing things that I have seen, pulling it out, looking at it, saying it, putting it back, and then running down the aisle to continue. But it got out that she allegedly, now I don't know who reported it, I forget who it was, but Amy Palcic was fired because she wasn't a cultural fit. So then when everybody came to her defense and was like, this lady's awesome, we've always had great interactions with her, J.J. Watt was like, love her, like anybody who gets her is lucky. Joe Thomas, who was with her in Cleveland, was like, awesome, love her. So whenever your Texans organization comes out and says, like, not an organizational fit or a culture fit or whatever, and everybody's like, well, this person's awesome, I think there's a lot of potential questions that go, well, what the hell is the culture down there? If somebody that's beloved by everybody that is pretty good at what they do says this person's great and you say they stink, that's probably what he's referring to and feeling as if the city, the team just doesn't give a fuck about their fans. And you can see how that's potentially the case. And who knows what the future of that team's going to look like. Deshaun Watson just got a lot of money. But it feels like by all accounts, now I've not asked him personally. Could I? Yeah. Would he give me an answer? Probably not. I don't think I'm that tight with him. He got the coach fired, right? And then I would assume that he is understanding it. Not he, but the team. He led it. He's J.J. Watt. He's the leader of the squad. Then it is alleged that, he said, I'm not here for a rebuild. So everybody's like, well, JJ wants out of Houston, wants out of Houston, wants out of Houston. I don't think JJ's ever said that. I don't know if that's a fair thing to say because JJ and Houston are like tied at the hip. But if JJ's gone next year and they are going to rebuild and it's a new GM and a new head coach, they got no picks, I don't think. They got no money. The place, and I could see how if you're a diehard Texans fan, you're like, this team stinks. Let's get them. Can you at least try to help us out and make us a happy fan base? That's tough down there in Houston. They don't deserve it either.
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? Your last coach / GM tried to bring the franchise to its knees.
He really did.
I mean, like this is years worth of cleanup that they're going to have to do now because of that.
And you just got to hope that Deshaun Watson can win games all by himself. And you know that he won't be able to just carry himself to a Super Bowl. So you're a fan of a team that you know isn't going to win a Super Bowl probably for the next couple of years. Now, will somebody be able to make magic down there? Maybe. Hey, maybe somebody will be able to get down there. I mean, you've seen crazier things happen in sports, obviously, but I can see how the future does look a bit dim if you're a Texans fan, now that we just kind of piece that together. By the way, Amy Palcic, she is great at what she does.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to hire her?
Patriots.
Someone.
It seems like you think we should. What does she do? PR? What would we need a PR person? What does a PR person do?
Personal relations.
public relations?
Cover up all of Connor's disparaging comments and remarks.
Oh, so like whenever he takes a shot at Dan Orlovsky out of nowhere, she can clean that up. So hopefully we don't lose a friend of the show. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Taking shots out of nowhere.
When they
when you start talking about your denominator talk,
that's
that is.
Shut up.
Oh, okay.
When he tries to get a guest fine for letting underage people into his bars.
How dare you?
Yeah, he's an owner. That's on bouncers. When you talk about loyal fans, though, like when you go from a Super Bowl team to like a tough team, do you look around the stadium? Do you look around the stadium and kind of make eye contact with a couple fans?
I'm not listening to a word you're saying.
I'm trying to keep going. I'm trying to keep it moving.
I am so impressed by that deflection right there. Did you hear that thing?
Oh, yeah.
That was a glove save, like not even a glove save. It was a blocker, hit, past the net, off of that, out of the room, conversation here. What are you even talking about? I didn't do that at all. Nobody even saw it happen, even though we all did. That is grade A work, my friend. Honestly, that is it's a real talent. It is an unbelievable talent.
Thank you.
At this point. And I think you said talking to other teams' fans.
No. Like I'm like for the Colts. Like when we talk about loyal fan bases, like you were part of a team went to the Super Bowl and then immediately after had a couple down years before Andrew Luck. When you're in those empty stadiums, do you look around at the fans like, hey, man, we're doing what we can?
I think I talked to you guys about this. People start showing up with paper bags.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, dude. There was a couple but by the way, I was one of the people that had been around for a little bit, and I think was doing my job pretty good. So it was like I was getting talked about. So it was very interesting. Okay, it was like at the same time where I was kind of getting popular in the city as well. So I took a lot of onus in like, trying to be, as good of a representative of the Colts as possible, right? Now, listen, I'm still going to make jokes about things that are happening on the internet, but whenever I have a Colts uniform, I'm going to try. But when I saw somebody with a paper bag on their head, it was very tough for me just to be like, come the fuck on, dude. Like, what? It was the middle of training camp. We found out the guy that we've paid the most money to, we built the entire team around, he's got to get his head put back on like Humpty Dumpty, dude. Like, what do you expect out of us, bro? There are paper bags on there. Like, come on, bro. Winningest decade in NFL history literally just happened. And you guys, Kerry Collins almost died on the football field earlier this year. Curtis Painter's trying his goddamn best. Dan Orlovsky was part of the 0-16 Lions.
Yeah.
He got us a couple big wins, by the way, at the end. And the crowd was going crazy. And I do believe that there was a lot of other people potentially that had a lot more play with the Colts that were not cheering for Dan Orlovsky, telling him not to win games. They were hoping he wouldn't win games. So Dan, such a goddamn good quarterback, he won games in the face of a lot of adversity where nobody else probably could have done it.
And those same fans with bags over their heads were screaming loud the next year with Andrew Luck jerseys on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Put the 12s on. We got the guy. By the way, I respect if fans get spoiled. Because I'm starting to as well as a fan.
I am big time. I know it.
Like the Colts are favored tonight, and I'm like, they're not winning by enough. Like I'm an ass. Packers.
Yeah.
I watched that game. I'm like, come on, let's go, and I'm getting like spoiled. Like it's hard to win in the NFL. It is very hard to win in the NFL. So I think we should start appreciating the wins a little bit more.
Yeah,
okay. I think we should start doing it.
Makes it look so damn easy.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Oh, by the way, Aaron Rodgers had a hell of a. He said the other day about how people say it looks easy. He's like, nothing's easy. The only thing you really get is the ability to compete. He gave a great speech, by the way.
Incredible.
Awesome to hear. Incredibly deep thinking, man. That's why yesterday, whenever he just trolled people, was awesome. Mm-hmm. It was absolutely awesome. What happened in the press conference? Yeah, so Aaron Rodgers ended his press conference. He was asked about offense coordinator Nathaniel Hackett. By the way, didn't know this guy existed until the question was asked. Shout out to him. Thought Matt LaFleur was pulling a lot of things. Nathaniel Hackett, shout out to him. He's getting mentioned for head coaching gigs, obviously, because of how efficient their offense is. And Aaron says he hope he doesn't go anywhere. And then he big smile on his face, unless I do. And that is just like such a brilliant thing to say. Because people have to react to it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
The world that sports media has become, if they don't react to that, they're going against everything that they've built up over the last, 10 years or something like that. They have to react to it. And he knows it. And it's just like that person that's up on the thing doing
puppet mask.
It's awesome. I love it. I absolutely love it. But a lot of media, it does feel like a lot of media after, listening to him on our show and understanding that he's probably just a dry sense of humor human as opposed to a dick all the time. I think there was a lot of people like, that was hilarious by Aaron Rodgers, as opposed to in the past who've been like, oh, the diva, the drama, he's trying to stir the pot, blah, blah, blah. It feels like it's a little bit of a different reaction.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he wasn't on this show every week and he said that, can you imagine what they'd be saying? They'd be going nuts.
Nobody listening to this show is sleeping on Arby's anymore, right?
No way.
We love Arby's.
The sandwiches are made fresh to order every single day. Their brisket, smokehouse brisket, I had 2 today. Slow roasted for 13 hours.
Wow.
It shouldn't be fast food. It is stupid the amount of work and effort that they put into their sandwiches. Their menu is incredibly deep. 13 hours slow roasted brisket sandwich I had. I've had 2 today. It is unbelievable. But they didn't stop there. No. What's right around the corner?
Thanksgiving.
Turkey season.
Oh, I love turkey season.
They have a deep fried turkey club that basically puts Thanksgiving onto an incredible toasted star top bun. Deep fried turkey breast, natural cheddar cheese, pepper bacon, lettuce, tomato, mayo, all at a fast food place. Use the promo code MEATS, MEATS, for free delivery of orders of $15 or more on DoorDash. Yes, it can arrive at your doorstep. We got to get to a break. AJ Hawk's on the other side. 6 minutes. Go take a shit. Whenever you eat Arby's here in the next 2 days, which we would recommend you doing so, use the hashtag Arby's is great, and you automatically be entered in to win this exact meat sweatsuit that our guy Zito is wearing right now. That smokehouse fucking brisket I had this morning.
Again, I thought you went down to a local steakhouse.
That should not be available to be delivered to your house.
No.
I cannot believe that we have a partnership with Arby's. But
awesome.
It's very dumb.
Just checking your availability. If you're in Indianapolis now, did you get to Buffalo?
Yeah, I got a plane that's supposed to take me down to game day anyways, so I could definitely have it go to Buffalo first. How long is the flight from Indy to Buffalo? You can find us a plane for like 4 o'clock. I think that'll be perfect.
The best we can do is depart around 5:30.
Okay, do we have can you find any other planes that could get us out of here earlier than that? I was just asked if I could appear in Buffalo within the next 4 hours to basically do the show on Fox tonight.
Okay, I'll call you back.
You know what I'm asking for?
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to call Jim Irsay and see if I can just use Jim's jet. He's calling me back shortly, but just start packing.
Hey.
You're the absolute best. Does this sound like a potential yes, you're saying? He's the fucking best. I would be so thankful. Hey, this is really cool. I don't know how many billionaires would do this for people that have worked for them in the past. This is awesome, and I can't thank you guys enough. Can I take a kendo stick to his back?
We'll talk about it when you get here.
All right, I appreciate you, man. Hey, let's break the fucking internet tonight. What a hilarious life. We are live on Fox in 6 hours and 35 minutes. 3 hours of sleep, no clue what the storylines are. Just fucking let the nuts swing, bro. Let's just go out there and have a good time. Plane company. I know. Here we go, boys. All right. Talk SmackDown tonight. This is going to be a night we're going to look back on and remember. And then we're going to hop on a plane and head to Memphis for College Game Day. I think this is a joke too. I just want to let you know, like, this is a Truman Show. I very much understand that this is not supposed to happen. I got the text at 1:42 p.m. today from Mr. H that says, "Have you heard there have been some travel issues? Can you make your way to Buffalo?" Jim Irsay, owner of the Colts, literally lent me his plane. Might be the most confident I ever been in something. I didn't know we were that good of friends, to be honest. I was throwing a Hail Mary, and he responded and said, yeah. So I got here about an hour and a half before the show, and to work with Renee, Tom, and be on SmackDown with a bucket of makeup on my face. This has been a dream come true bucket list type situation here in beautiful Buffalo, New York. Come on, boys. We're going to be on cable.
By Pat McAfee, replacing our guest commentator Aiden English.
No sleeves in, George. Good to see you.
It feels good here in Buffalo. I got a text from the game, a cerebral WWE official. He said, hey, you might have heard about the travel issues. Can you make it to Buffalo? I said, absolutely. What a magical evening it is, November 1st, 2019. I mean, let's be honest. The Marine was a heathen. You know what I mean? He's a great actor. He was great on The Real World. He was great on all of that. Oh. Tegan, That's how they do it in NXT, baby. Almost took me out holding an
another grown lady in the air.
November 1st, 2019, greatest SmackDown in the history of SmackDown. Pat, you joining us? It might absolutely be correct the way things have gone here tonight. SmackDown in the history of SmackDowns, November 1st, 2019. It's documented.
I had a good time out there, man. I had no idea what was happening, so it's really just a natural reaction to everything. That was awesome, dude. That's a real bucket list thing. Game day bucket list. This is like complete bucket list. 2 in 1 week. Oh yeah. With a horseshoe shoved up my ass and a horseshoe owner lending us a plane. Are you kidding me?
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon. We'll do that, Mignana Foxy, the text you just sent. Hour 3 of today, Thursday, November 12th, begins right now. First couple hours, I've had great conversations with people. Out of nowhere, by the way. Mike Pereira calling us live from his villa in Manhattan Beach.
Jeez.
I believe that is 1 town north of Hermosa Beach or 2 towns north of Hermosa Beach. And that is a very pricey area to live on the beach down there.
Yeah,
that's the
right on
spot.
the Strand, too, he said.
Yeah, that is not easy to get. There's only a certain amount of houses that are there. Very difficult to find. Very difficult to Airbnb even, by the way. And he's probably in a $10 million house, that guy.
I wouldn't, it might be north of that. Who knows?
Fucking Mike Pereira.
Mm-hmm. Mike Pereira.
Oh, yeah, Mike.
I assume he and his wife have a lot of business ventures and things like that, but good for Mike, NFL rules expert for Fox Sports as well on the side of whatever else he does. I mean, something else. Awesome conversation about officiating and everything that goes into it. Then last hour, Steve Levy, and he's the voice of Monday Night Football, obviously, at the time being. Kind of being dropped into a buzzsaw there with the way the world is with no crowd at all, which is one of his strengths, being able to play and let the crowd talk a little bit. And also having to follow Herb Street and Fowler week 1, and then the past couple boosts haven't been fan favorites for whatever reason. Listen, we're not saying why or anything like that. I'm just saying that is obviously why moves were made. So it was a tough position. And I'll tell you what, I think after listening to that convo with Levy, you have to say, you know what, like that guy.
Mm-hmm. Very genuine.
Oh, yeah.
I liked him. Mm-hmm. Oh, he was a good conversation.
Love to grab a beer with him.
Well, you
did.
You accused him of trying to do that when you were a teenager.
When you were 16.
No, I wish he was there, but I mean, he wasn't. And again, like I said before, that is on the people working the door, not on the people who own the building and pay the rent.
True. And I would assume that if they thought you were of age, those people didn't care enough about the bar, and Levy should be frustrated about the team that they had at the time, but he has fixed that since. That's why the greatest is still around.
I do believe he jumped into ownership just right after
that, yeah.
right when I got my real ID.
Yeah, right after.
He came in.
Yeah, whenever you were of age, of course.
They started really cleaning it up, stopped selling, booze and water bottles out the back door. They really made it a legit operation.
And by the way, that's the Steve Levy effect.
Yeah.
And we will assume that same type of thing will be happening here as we roll into Monday Night Football. All we're saying is put your swords down. Okay, whenever it comes to Steve Levy.
Put your swords down.
Put your swords down. Him listening to criticism on the internet, that was pretty interesting to hear, because normally a person in his position would have such a large ego that he would say that nobody who would tweet him would have the ability to be able to make him better at what he does. Not Steve Levy.
No.
Steve Levy said, listen, I don't want to talk about country club sports, but I will go onto Twitter and I will listen to what people have to say. I will watch it back and I'll say, fair, I will take that criticism. That doesn't happen ever at that position, I would assume.
Definitely not. Very genuine guy.
It did feel like that, didn't it? Speaking of genuine guys, joining us now, AJ Hawk, dude.
Wow! What?
Right.
Oh, what a shirt. What a shirt.
All right.
Oh, sweet shirt.
What is it?
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Classic Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Steve Levy is a good dude. I saw some of that. Steve Levy, he comes across as just a great human being.
What's going on with your shirt, dude?
What's going on, dude?
Thought we had discussed this or whatever. I'm going to keep an eye on these YouTube viewers.
That's the anniversary of this not happening, right?
Oh, you son of a bitch. Fuck you, dude.
What are you all right, Ty? What just happened? I think I missed something. I was checking out YouTube as it was collapsing because we're talking about something. What are you so mad about? What happened, dude?
Yeah, today is the anniversary of when Buzz Aldrin went up, and we finally realized, hey, guess what? The astronauts, they can work in space. We're on the outside of the spacecraft.
Wow.
Apollo Gemini.
That's America.
Dude. This paved the way for us going to the moon.
One step forward for us.
To the moon.
Yeah, not you two.
No.
Fucking dare. Not you two. You know what? Actually, it's okay. I hope Buzz Aldrin is watching this right now, and he comes down and smacks both of you in the fucking mouth like he did that guy a couple years ago.
Old man.
No. I am not a part of that crew.
Okay,
you
good.
were just trying to paint me in.
Just making sure, because I know this son of a bitch over here is he never lets me hear the end of it.
Diggs does seem to be firmly entrenched on the fact that we did not go to the moon. And we
Or ever again. Decided, hey, it's fucking awesome up here. Let's never go back.
I hope Buzz gets you.
AJ, that's what you did. You wore that shirt on purpose to start that. I know you did. I know it.
I mean, it's a shirt. It's JFK on a unicorn on where is he? Somewhere in space on the moon, I guess. Obviously. So, what are you guys? You're worried this is something to do with conspiracies, right?
No, listen. Don't even try to.
You finished with Bill Gates yesterday, and now you're walking down the same road.
Can't do it.
Stop
it. Can't do it, man.
Stop attacking great humans, man. Connor's going after Bill Gates. He's trying to get a vaccine for the world to save everybody. You guys just
oh my God, what is the deal with this?
You think I'm going
You need to stop, you. All right, you too.
No, Bill Gates donated $63 billion to this planet. I would never go after that man.
Smart.
What do you do? Just dump it into the...
Yeah.
That Bezos did, too. They got a big hole. They just put it into the planet. It fixes it.
You know that island of plastic? There's also just like an island of money that is also floating right next to it. That's where all that money goes to. Yeah.
What does that go to? Does that go to scientists that like research whether or not the world is...
Pipes and stuff.
Pipes? I don't think it goes to pipes.
Irrigation for deserts.
Plumbing. Yeah.
Good plumbing. Yeah.
I assume pipes are coming out. Like I would assume that they're trying not to have.
Well, no, they're biodegradable pipes.
Anyway, sports show. Colts Titans tonight. Colts are favored by 1. I don't know if they're still favored by 1. I know they started the day favored by 1. I don't. This is a game that's going to be very difficult for me to pick, not because of my allegiance to the Indianapolis Colts and my fanhood of the Nashville, Tennessee Titans squad down there, Nashville City as well. So I don't know how to feel here about this thing, but this feels like a game that the Colts could definitely lose, and this feels like a game that the Titans, who have been very inconsistent as well, could lose. How do you see the night going, and are you excited for this? This is a real-life good matchup coming out on a Thursday.
Well, this is a good, physical matchup that should be fun to watch. Don't you think Tennessee's going to try to – they're going to have to ride Derrick Henry. I mean, that's what everyone assumes they're going to do. But I'm a little bit surprised that the Titans are underdogs in their own place. I understand like it's not a normal home field advantage deal, but still short week and you're underdogs.
Hold on.
No, they are, but that's not how it opened. They opened as favorites, and then the betting market made them the dogs.
At Tone Diggs, what does that mean? Does that mean some big professional gambler potentially made a bet that made the books go, oh, wait, are we seeing it wrong? Why is that, you think?
It is weird because the Colts opened as 2-point dogs. Now they're the 1-point favorite, even though all of the money is coming in on the Tennessee Titans. So in that situation, it's called a reverse line move. And you look to maybe take the Colts in that situation.
Okay.
Reverse line.
All right, little reverse line moves going on here tonight. And I'll tell you what, Vegas is up in arms about what's going to go down. I mean, the money's on this side, but we're moving it that way. It's kind of a dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge situation if you're one of those good sports gamblers, so that the sports books who set the lines don't know where you're going, because it's a consummate game between the sports books, and obviously a lot more people are getting involved in this, but the big ones, the sharp gamblers, that game is always happening throughout the week, and that's why you see lines move. Now granted, injuries also get affected into that, but there is a joust at a very high level for a lot of money happening on who's going to do what and pick what. That's interesting, because I don't know how to pick it, but if all the big smart people that gamble all the time pick it, I'll hammer the home team if I got to, no problem at all.
Yeah, according to this website here that I always follow, and it's normally pretty correct, the Colts have the sharp action tonight.
Okay. Hey, the Sharps been doing this a long time. We've been making money in this game a long time. This is how I win. At Gumpy, he was not a sharp. At Gumpy, what do you got on this game tonight?
Home dogs in divisional games, 12-2 against the spread. Prime time dogs, 20-9 against the spread this year.
So Gumpy's nukes would say that we hammer the Titans tonight.
Oh, yeah.
But the smart Italians who have been making money for a long time, they're saying hammer the Colts with this reverse line move. This is a classic. How do you feel? How do you feel? Which way do you want to go?
That would be what Lombardi would call the sharp provolone. There could be some holes in
cheese.
it, my friend.
Whoa.
Provolone have holes?
Yeah.
Does it?
Like Swiss cheese.
Does it really?
Yeah, I believe so.
It's good too.
I think I remember. Provolone, no, it
I
doesn't.
just bought provolone last night. It does not have holes.
By the way, I was getting. By the way, I almost lost it. I was like, my Italian friends, two of which that are in here, are going to be very pissed off at me if I don't know that provolone does not have holes.
It does not have
Yeah, because I just thought of those big sticks of fucking cheese. I mean, that is something that's. So you hung out with zero Italian people. You legitimately were like, nah, I'll stay away. That's wild.
Yeah, well, we made fun of them for the cheese they eat. But Gumpy, too, he is the captain of my arsenal. So if he says that's provolone, I'm going with provolone.
In Canada, it has holes in it.
Of course. Of course.
Government cheese up there.
Has anything you just heard, AJ, changed your mind about how you would bet tonight or pick tonight after the Canadian Italian cheese that got a hole in it like it's Switzerland? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm probably gonna have to. I'm gonna need Zeke to send me a clip of this because I have to digest all that great info that I
You got it. I have to.
Help me pick a winner here tonight, but ultimately I think it comes down to Phil Rivers. How does Phil play? They can't. The Titans don't get a whole lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. I know Jeffrey Simmons is a monster inside for them, though. Maybe he makes Phil kind of just feel uncomfortable in the pocket, and maybe the Titans come up with a couple key interceptions.
So they don't get a lot of pressure on the quarterback? Oh, yeah, because Davion Clowney, everybody's been going after him because he hasn't got as many sacks or whatever, but he's a game disruptor in different fashions, which I think has always been his thing. That's why the stats couldn't always go with what he was demanding, because he felt if you watch the film, he changed games in different fashions other than just getting sacks and all that stuff. But who knows if he's playing how everybody thinks he should be playing this year. I don't think I've watched close enough. But if Phillip Rivers has a chance to stand around, Colts have a chance. Like, Colts have a real chance, especially with a really good defense. Really good defense.
T.Y.'s back?
T.Y. is back.
T.Y.'s playing tonight.
T.Y. dominates on Thursday nights. You could probably look up those stats. He has big Thursday night games. That's what T.Y. does. What do you got, Dick?
Tennessee is number 30 in the league in sack percentage. So
Connie's been a little hurt.
Oh, so I like the Colts. I like the Colts even more now because Phil. People are saying he's inaccurate and he's like, like a lot of Billy McComas obviously said that, but also a lot of people around Indianapolis are like the guy. I think last week he puts the ball like in a bucket if he has to. Like that is one of his strengths. So if he has time and he can digest the defense and he gets a chance to like pick some things apart, look for Mo Alley Cox. Is he playing tonight? Look for him to have a big night, I'd assume, because Jack Doyle is out. He's a tight end. If T.Y. is going to get loose, let's go. Is Michael Pittman? I like the Colts all of a sudden night. And it's Nyheim Hines' birthday. Assuming he's going to get loose on a punt return or a kickoff return or maybe even out of the backfield. Okay, I like the Colts tonight all of a sudden.
Is there any worry that A.J. Brown obviously is a certified stud, and on the opposite side, Corey Davis, his brother just passed away, and he might have a little extra motivation for the game?
I will tell you, the death in a family type thing is a real thing. Like, it really brings a team together. So that maybe, does that offset my thoughts? Because I am a big, hey, how about the Joes guys, not the X's and O's guys? I mean, that kind of puts a wrench in my entire thing right there. By the way, rest in peace. T's and P's, obviously, completely. Yeah. Oh, man, we got a good one tonight. Thursday Night Football's got a good one. And the Masters.
Yeah!
We love golf. This is good, AJ. We got to get to a break.
Where's Tiger right now?
Tiger is 4 under through 12. Leader is at 6 under.
He just got to make the cut and get to the weekend. Because once he gets to the weekend, that's when it's like, all right, here we go.
You don't win on Monday, but you could definitely lose on Thursday. That's what I meant. Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I said Monday.
Happens.
Duplicate. Yeah, you just did a quick little edit.
Yeah.
Mr. Allie Cox, questionable.
He full practice yesterday, though. So.
Oh, so he's playing. Yeah. He'll have a big game.
Trey Burton.
What's
Look
that?
for Trey Burton.
So that's the dude that threw the touchdown, huh?
Yeah.
Phil likes him a lot. I think he targets him a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about him. I think he's made some big plays. I don't know enough about him.
Do you think Indy's going to be able to run the ball?
4 running backs.
Nyheim Hines' birthday.
No, don't you think, though, Tennessee's going to load the box and say, hey, all right, Phil, you proved to us that you can beat us through the air?
I think Phil can tonight. All right. We'll talk Taylor Lewan in like 10 minutes. The death of the brother. Oh.
They also just added Desmond King, who got a full week of practice with that defense.
Touchdown. Scored a touchdown last week, too, in his first game.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get to a break. This is, by the way, Kat Stockton, Mr. Neighborgood.
Wow.
It's an absolute banger. We got Taylor Lewan joining us in less than 10 minutes. My back is cramping.
Oh, no.
It's probably because that little son of a bitch did a front flip into me.
Prick. Probably, if we're adding things up.
Golly, a little tight here, pal.
Hey, is that guy, the tan guy who always has the same facial expression, is that Jay McAfee that wrestles with you?
Dude, you don't get it.
That's Pete Dunne, the bruiserweight.
He's awesome. He intimidates me. I thought it was Jay McAfee a few shots I saw.
Happy birthday, Jay. Happy birthday, Jay. That's Pete Dunne. You put some fucking respect on his name, okay? I love my brother.
Happy birthday to Jay, too.
Listen, I love my brother. Okay, happy birthday, Jay.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Pete Dunne would body bag Jason McAfee. Okay, I just want that to be known. All right? That's just how it goes. 17 minutes into hour 3 here, Thursday, November 12th. McAfee and Hawk, Pat McAfee Show, Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Last night I was roaming around Canal and Bourbon, and there was a lot of purple. And when you get that Mercedes-Benz Dome, and it starts getting loud and it gets rompous, obviously, not only for momentum and swings like that it can help, but for the defensive line to get a jump. I think that is a big deal. A lot of freak athletes on the field, and kickers are a spectacle no matter what happens. Whenever you're in those high-pressure moments, you normally fall back on your fundamentals. You normally fall back on your technique. You try to take your brain out of it. Cade York hits a beautiful ball.
One person at one party.
And think about him warming up right now. There's just 3 dudes in suits breaking down every single move he makes during his warm-up. What a wild scene here for Trevor Lawrence.
Quarterback, number 9, Joe Burrow.
You're supposed to be some draft expert, and you say Joe Burrow was a 5th-round draft pick before this year. Now he's number 1 overall. What do you know? What do you know, Todd? Tim, you are so handsome, it's ridiculous. What do you think has been happening in this first quarter? Why has Joe Burrow been stumped by this Clemson defense?
I think Brent Venables is the best DC in the country, and it's honestly not a shock to me. He did this to Tua last year.
Odell Beckham just stopped by.
Odell's very excited.
Odell's happy with the 52-yard attempt coming from the kid from Clemson. I've seen Odell this with a spinning ball. And BT Potter puts it through from 52 in Hotels. Not in your face. It wasn't in your face. It wasn't in your face. You weren't looking at it.
That's a career high for BT Potter.
Bro, imagine Joe Burrow just having to stand in there and know that Isaiah Simmons is scot-free right in your suckle. That's no chance Alberto Riveron would turn that over. He was in the Buccos organization.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Oh, let's go. I love this song.
This is a banger, dude.
Truly.
I'm gathering our guest's information right now so we can call him. This is so good, isn't it? I mean,
Does have a song about another river.
He's from down the river.
No, Taylor's not. He's not on a river right now. He's doing rehab in a river, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you said it.
Get the leg back together.
We're still going here. It is, you know.
What's that? It is what?
Not good for talk radio.
What? A 6-minute song?
What? 6-minute song is worth it, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a banger of a song.
I enjoy the song.
I love a good whammy.
Okay, cool. Just then don't say anything.
Well, no, I was just trying to see what you were trying to say.
Well, what I was trying to say, you see, was, it's coming now, and maybe don't say anything.
Yeah.
You see that? Where, dude? So if he's dead, right? Throw him in there. Just kind of toss him in there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Pittsburgh, we weren't allowed to jump off a boat one time that we rented because they found a body floating around the day before. Yep. Huh. So he might be telling somebody else's story, like real life.
Could be.
Yeah. It's interesting. People don't talk about that enough.
AJ tossing bodies in the Ohio River.
AJ tosses bodies on the field. Let the bodies hit the field. Let the bodies hit the field. Let the bodies hit the field. AJ. All right, joining us now. Sorry about that, AJ. Just anytime that song like kind of enters my soul, you know, you just kind of got to let it go because it sounds so good, and then you get it. You're the Buffalo Ohio River. Over 100,000 streams for a very independent band. I'm very happy for them. That's awesome.
Congrats.
That's a cool story. That's a good story.
Good job.
Keep streaming. It's on all platforms, by the way. We're being joined now by a man who his presence has been missed greatly, I do believe, for a team that's playing tonight at home against the Indianapolis Colts. Consummate All-Pro, Pro Bowler, legend, host of Bussin' with the Boys podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Lewan.
Yeah!
Woo!
Thank you.
How far out of surgery are you still on any? You still taking? Are you like fresh out of surgery, or are we a couple weeks out of this thing?
No, I'm about 2 weeks and 2 days. So we're moving.
I can bend this thing past 90. We can walk on it at this point. I'm hitting all the things. I'm leveling up every single time. So it's the little W's when you get to this point. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing really changes. I don't know if AJ ever had an ACL or something like that, or you ever had a knee thing, but it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Just to go take a piss in the morning. Like, I stopped drinking water at 6 p.m. so I don't have to get up in the morning or in the middle of the night and crutch my ass over to take a piss. It's awful. It's little things you take for granted.
Taylor, I want to let you know that me and AJ have tried our best to explain to people that whenever you hear about professional athletes just getting surgery and then having rehab and then they come back and they're good and everybody's like, yeah, oh, he's getting surgery, they're getting surgery, they're getting surgery, they're getting surgery. That rehab part that you hear about, now granted, we're all I was mostly grossly overpaid to do my job, and we all get paid very lot or whatever. You know what I mean? Rehab sucks. Rehab absolutely sucks. It is painful. It is miserable. You're a great athlete. Obviously, you're in the NFL. You're trying to teach your knee how to walk again. It is a pain in the ass. So salute to you, sir, getting your ass back ready to maybe be able to take shits in the middle of the night again. Now let's talk about.
I appreciate that.
Let's talk about.
That does mean a lot.
Let's talk about Tennessee Titans. Tonight, big game, obviously. Colts have just absolutely dominated this entire rivalry for basically its entire existence. But it is a change and a turn of the tide here lately with your incredible leadership and the Tennessee Titans. What do you think happens tonight? How do you see the boys playing?
I see the boys playing well. It's a short week. The boys do well on a short week. Vrabel does good with the boys on a short week. I did hear Will Compton did tell me that they had a walkthrough this morning. So all the players are super pissed off that they got to do a little extra. So they might come out with a little fire today. They might come out with a little spice. I might get my ass in trouble for even saying that. But I'll tell you what. This rivalry, yes, for a long time the Colts have owned it. The blessings of Peyton Manning. The Andrew Lucks of the world, just a well-rounded franchise, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place to go. You guys have every steakhouse imaginable, every single franchise possible. There's a steakhouse in Indianapolis. You can go there and try every single kind of steak, and that's great. And after that, that's about all it has to give. And then the football team, and that's There's a minor league baseball team. But I'll tell you what, the Titans, I feel it. I feel it for the boys. I feel good for the boys today. I think it's going to go a long way. I'm excited. I'm excited to sit here, watch on my TV, prop my leg up, and hope to God I don't have to piss throughout the 3 hour football game.
Taylor, you mentioned possibly getting in trouble for saying what that they had a walkthrough this morning. I'm just curious, over your time there, you're an outspoken dude. You're not scared to give your opinion and act like, and be authentic. I think it's awesome. But also your coach.
Be awesome.
I've known Braves forever. Does he call you into his office every morning? Like how much interaction does he ever have to shut you down or tell you, hey man, like that's enough?
I've actually had it from more coaches than Vrabel. Here's what I think about Vrabel. He is a huge social media guy. He loves the attention. He loves all that stuff. On Bustin' with the Boys, we talk about all the time how Vrabel is probably our #1 fan by far. He's always texting me and Will little snippets, little Twitter snippets, little Instagram snippets. But him and John especially, they do a good job of putting me in my place when I need to be put in my place. I have so much respect for the two of them. The way they've come in, changed the culture. He's my third coach since I've been in the league. And I've been on the same team, luckily, for the last 7 years. And by far the best culture I've ever been a part of. Vrabel does a great job. John brings the right guys in there so we can just keep going in the direction, the trajectory that we want to go. So I think there's, you know how it is when you play. Like, there's some things you want to say, but you don't say. And you kind of toe the line. I think the three of us have towed the line plenty.
Yeah, the two of us definitely.
I'll be getting a nice text from Vrabel after this, as I always usually do on the McAfee show. So it's a full. I enjoy it. At least he's talking to me, right?
Yeah. Well, shout out to Braves, by the way, if he's watching this. We're big fans, dude. We're big fans.
Guaranteed he's watching.
Love what you're doing. What was the culture shift that he brought in there? Because obviously we see the boxing gloves at practice, and him obviously has the full padded, flat jacket on game day, taking pass rush and everything like that. And it seems like he is, like a part of the locker room almost, but he's like the leader of the, it feels like that's a coach that I would want to play for. Watching from outside, it's like, this guy seems like a guy that I would want to play for sure.
I think you've nailed it on the head. Vrabel's definitely that dude. Goes out there, puts some little pads on. I remember my first year, I had like an ankle issue or something I was dealing with, something petty. And I didn't practice with the boys in India. I had to practice with Vrabel. Fun fact about practicing with Vrabel, it's way harder than practicing with the boys. But Vrabel comes in, he's got his stupid vest pad thing on, and he's running into me, and he gives me the chest and lets me punch him a couple times. And then like the third time, he's like, all right, one more, like set inside out, make sure you punch. And the guy takes off with the jets and like does like some sort of move on me and beats me around the corner. That I'm not expecting it on. He kind of looks back at me like, still fucking got it. And that was like literally my first, like one of my first real interactions with Vrabel. So he's a dude's dude, but he's a top of the dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's right where he needs to be at the head coach. I can't imagine him in Houston listening to Bill O'Brien tell him what to do, because Vrabel is an alpha male. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that got a little hairy once in a while. I know they're boys, but I'm sure it got hairy.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, you also transitioned, I know, at your time in Michigan from Rich Rod, who I know Pat knows well, to Brady Hoke. Like, how was that? How different are those guys?
That had to be a dream, by the way, going from Rich to Brady.
I'll tell you what, they were both. I'll give them both they were all right at best. I mean, Rich Rod came in and the poor bastard didn't have a good sleep the whole time he was in Ann Arbor. I don't know if you guys know much about Michigan, but it's very much like, the Bo Schembechler, Lloyd Carr, like we need to do the old school stuff, run the ball, all that stuff. And that's great, but Rich Rod comes in, he runs a spread offense, he gets guys like Denard Robinson in there, really talented individuals, but the guy didn't have a fair shake with the boosters and all that from the beginning. Brady Hoke came in, who's like the Fred Flintstone of all the coaches. Like all he was missing was Barney Rubble. Like he was happy-go-lucky cat, dude. He was a nice, firm circle, firm stomach on the boy. Had a good group of dudes, a big smile on his face always. Every Thursday before games, him and his wife would make pizza. And I told him I like chicken on pizza one time, and literally that might have been the end of our relationship. He absolutely hated the fact that I said I like chicken on pizza, but they were good dudes. Everybody wants at Michigan someone to be Bo Schembechler, and we just haven't found that yet. I'm sure eventually they will. I don't know what John Harbaugh, what his list looks like as far as how long he'll be there. You gotta get a quarterback. Gotta get going out there a little bit.
Yeah,
because we're falling from relevance. We're not very relevant anymore.
Yeah.
2004 was the last Big Ten championship.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's hard to swallow over here when I was in the dark years. Like I'm sure some Michigan alumni will watch this and be like, "You don't know anything, Taylor. You never were a part of the good times." And he's right. I never won when I was there. I was for the dark ages. I was one tiny bright spot.
I've been to Ann Arbor, though, and it is gorgeous. Like, I very much understand why people that went to Michigan act as if Michigan's better than everywhere else, because after going to Ann Arbor, it was like, this place is better than everywhere else. It was so nice. The athletic, that's why whenever people fail there, it's hard to believe, because there's a $500 million football facility that just got built. There's billionaires just stumbling out of bars at that place. Like, it is just, when you go to Ann Arbor, it's a different place. Everybody's very nice to me there. It was awesome. And then you see like the failures. It's like, well, can they win? Like, why can't they get it figured out? And hopefully they'll be able to. Who knows? Because Ohio.
And they got Jordan too. They got great sponsors. It's not like they're Adidas. When I was there, we were Adidas. Not great. But you got Jordan now, the first school to ever be sponsored by Jordan. You got like the best facilities, like the facilities that have changed since I've been there. I mean, we had good facilities when I was there too, but it's unbelievable. They literally have this thing called a car wash. They finish practice and then they walk in this like freezing temperatured water, like this 42-degree water, and they have to walk. Like it's a 4 or 5 minute walk right after practice. It's like, who looks into that kind of recovery stuff? It's unbelievable. It's a great school. The town is unbelievable. It revolves around the football team. If you want to go play big-time football and you want to be known and loved and cherished, Ann Arbor's the place to do it. I just don't know how to get that shit going.
Yeah, you guys stink. The Tennessee, you don't deserve it, by the way. Because of everything I just said about Ann Arbor, I expect somebody will go in there and win. I assume it's going to be a coaching change. You watch the NFL now. Are you watching full Sundays now when you're at home? Obviously, you're glued.
I can't. It's too heartbreaking to go out there and watch. And it's unbelievable to watch these dudes how many injuries there have been this year. And I remember like week 3, week 4, looking around like, man, these guys are getting blown up. That sucks. Like, dudes are tearing ACLs left and right. Like, I think the 49ers had 2 defensive guys in between one play, both tear their ACLs, both great players, Bosa and then was it Thomas? Solomon Thomas?
Yeah.
And just like, I was like, man, that's crazy. Thank God I never get hurt. And then sure enough, week 5, beep, there goes the old knee. So it's like, I think the biggest thing that people don't talk about with injuries is it's not always about like recovering. Your body's going to physically make it back, but a lot of times it's the mentals. It's like, how do I, get back and trust that my leg's going to be able to do this and stay in a good positive state while you're kind of in the time frame I'm in right now, that 2 to 6 weeks where you're not really be able to walk. You can't really do much. I got 2 kids running around the house. My poor wife, I feel so bad for her. Well, I'm sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing, literally playing Halo. And it's like I'm a teenager all over again. But there's a lot of mental stuff that goes into this. And I think part of it for me is I love watching the Titans, love rooting on the Titans. But when it comes to Sunday and all that, I kind of pickles on a sandwich. I take it or leave it right now. I just got to focus on what I got to do,
Pickles on a sandwich. You're an idiot. You are an idiot.
I'll tell you what, Michigan is a top 15 public school in the world. Where is West Virginia? Like, is that even ranked?
I'm talking about not academically. I'm talking about, and by the way, that's what a high academia person would do, is flex the intelligence of their book smarts.
Hey, I got a general studies degree. I can talk a little bit about everything.
Wow. Congratulations. What I'm referring to is you in your head thinking, oh, this Pickles one's a fucking home run. Wait until I put the And by the way, it was.
I thought when I bring this thing out, they're going to die.
I've never heard it before, by the way. It is something that I think should be used a little bit more often, to be honest with you.
I think it's yours.
Nah. It's. By the way, maybe I will, just to help spread it, because it is so goddamn good. AJ, what do you got?
Oh, I'm curious about your rehab. Like, I'm glad you mentioned like the mental part. A lot of times guys always talk about, hey, if you're on IR, it's like you're not a part of the team. But with the COVID situation, are you still like part of the mini bubble? Are you getting tested all the time? Like, how are you doing that? It's very like extensive rehab where you're at right now.
Yeah, I'm 0% a part of the team right now, AJ. It's very hard for me to say.
Oh, so go Colts? Go Colts?
I'm not even in the building.
Okay.
I go to rehab down the street at this place called TOA. Those guys are great. I got to work out the last couple of days, though. So, I mean, I've been watching myself just turn into a pile of goo on the couch. And so that's to be able to work out the last 3 days. I'm going to become an Instagram influencer with the no lower body, but all upper body.
Yeah.
That's going to become me in the next month or 2. You know what it's like, dude. But as far as like being a part of the team, I FaceTime the boys all the time. I constantly talk to Derek and Ryan and all the O-line boys. Like, try to stay with those guys. But with this COVID stuff, unless I go and get tested every single day, I would go in there and do treatment for an hour. It's like it's a lot of work for not a lot of reward. I'm getting just as much at TOA. So no, I'm really not even. I feel like I'm part of the team at all. I'm just the biggest #1 cheerleader in Nashville.
Hey, that's probably happening with everybody, huh? Around the league that's getting rehab. Because
I know that Dak came out and said he's going to do. He's going to. He's a quarterback though. It's way different when you're a quarterback and. He's trying to get that paper too. He's trying to get that
Luan money.
He's trying to double Luan money. That times 3-4. He's trying to get something.
Hey, how about when you came out like an absolute asshole, dressed like Boss Hogg in that press game? That was the best.
I'll tell you what, it was the best move ever. I got knocked down the first game. And I think it was because I wore that damn Boss uniform. I got depleted on an interception, and a couple of guys, they were like, I was like Andre, some backup cat, and he's like, dead body bag. Like, and I was like, I woke up out of a daze, and a couple of days later, I'm like, it was definitely the Boss Hogg. Stupid fucking outfit I wore.
Hey, I'm seeing on your hands a bunch of tats there. What are those? And when did you start getting tats? And I'm not going to ask you how many because it appears as if you're definitely at the point long ago where you don't know how many anymore. But when did you start getting tats? And will that continue are you going to ink your whole body? You don't give a motherfucker.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not. I'm not hitting neck or face. I promised my faux mom that. But like when I was like 8 years old, I would draw mustaches on my fingers.
Oh, I want that tat so bad. I want that tat right there so bad.
Get that. Get it. It's yours. I mean,
no, you didn't create it, by the way. You didn't create that. I would like to let you know you did not create that tattoo. There was.
No, but I did create this one. That's my right-hand man. college, this is my best wingman ever, dude. This thing was an absolute moneymaker. But the mustache is not an original, but the right hand man definitely is the original.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I've wanted tattoos since I was little. Since I was a little kid, like I said, I draw mustaches. My tattoos, 90% of them mean absolutely nothing. I have Frank Sinatra's mugshot on my hand. I figured we both have criminal records. Might as well make it a real thing. I got Marilyn Monroe. I literally have the most random stuff. I'll probably do my stomach and chest, my other leg. So I'll probably have a little bit of a bodysuit going, but it's a bit of a deal. You have any tattoos?
Nah, man. I've sat down in a chair a couple times, and then like right before I'm like, yeah, I'm out. It's hard for me to commit to something, on my I'll change my tomorrow. It's hard for me to be like, you know what? I'll put something on there forever. And I heard it hurts like a motherfucker. I heard it hurts very bad as well.
It depends on the spot. I got my back done this offseason. I almost cried. I was in child's pose a couple times doing yoga stretches, breathing deep, meditation type stuff. It was awful. But I'll tell you what, get you a mustache, get you a right-hand man. You can't go wrong with that.
The right-hand man.
That's
That's a top 5. That's top 3.
I've never seen you wear sleeves, but yet you're too professional to get a tattoo. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not too professional. No, it's definitely not it. It's the ADD, okay? It's the sitting there, because you got to sit there if you want anything for a long time. It's the pain, right? Then I actually, not only do I have to sit still for a long time, I also have to sit there and just get prodded with a needle the entire time. Okay, so it hurts like hell. And by the way, this thing that you're currently into, I've been with me a long time. Probably not going to like it next week. But I am at the point. My lady has a beautiful sleeve. She has a great tat, and I think we're going to get one or whatever. So I think I am getting into the world. And I do believe that right-hand man just made a quick entrance into the appointment. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's a top 5 tattoo. I swear to literally probably my only original idea I've ever had in my entire life. The only original thing I've ever thought of.
Don't blame yourself. Don't say that, dude. Just because
pickles on a sandwich and then that. And who would have thought that the right-hand man would hit harder?
Run left, dude.
Oh, God.
Do you remember? Hey, Taylor, you remember where you were when you came up with the idea for the right-hand man?
Oh, you had to be so pumped. Oh.
No, it was definitely in college. I was like a freshman, a redshirt freshman, one of those two. And the mustache was like my go-to icebreaker at the bar. And then I started to realize like a lot of people actually have that. And then I have no idea how it came out. One thing led to another. The guy who does all my tattoos, the same guy does them. His name's Joey Singleton out in Ann Arbor, Michigan. He literally drives down to my house and he'll just tattoo me as long as I say. And he's an unbelievable tattoo artist. And we were sitting there one day and I was like, man, just throw a little stick figure on the old hand. Call it the right-hand man. And I think that's really how fast it kind of happened. I just put things on my body and expect me to like them 10 years later.
Hey, it's smart. And by the way, they all look nice, so you got to do that. If you're a person who maybe isn't going to dive, they say everybody gets addicted to it. You rarely see one person that, maybe the old classic person that's part of the barbed wire tribe. You know what I mean? That's like
back in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah, like that's their only tat. It's like, well, you could have potentially just go ahead and denounce yourself from that tribe and kind of went over it. But you're doing your own
I got some tribal in my left arm, and I'm getting it removed right now. That's way worse than a tattoo. Way worse.
The Hawaiian stuff? That's one that I want.
No, it's the wannabe Jake Long. It's awful, dude. It's such a bad move. I got it when I was 77 at Michigan. Jake Long was just the #1 pick, and I was like, I got it, dude. I got to do that. I got to do the tribal also. Got the tribal. Absolutely hate it now.
Jake Long. Did Jake Long have a great... Where's Jake Long at right now? Do you know?
He's retired now. He had a whole mess of injuries, dude. He actually lives in Nashville, Tennessee. #1 overall pick by the Dolphins. Richie Incognito told me himself, the single best football player he's ever seen, regardless of position. That's how good Jake Long was before he got hurt and stuff like that.
Damn.
The guy was a surefire Hall of Famer, but he just riddled with injuries.
Yeah. All right. Well, get healthy from yours, man. Will you?
I will. I'll do my best.
What are we betting? We got to do something here for tonight's game.
What do you want to do?
I don't know, man.
Tattoos?
You're probably going to have to get that right.
There it is. All right. We'll do that's what'll happen. That's what we do.
Tattoos.
Yeah, I have to think of something that you have to get tattooed on your body, but it has to be in a place.
If Tennessee wins, you got to get BWTB put on your body.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay.
I'll get Pat McAfee show 2.0 on my arm somewhere.
No, I can't do it. I'm not at the point. I'm not at the point of tattoos where I can just get random shit. Okay, I can't do that. Like I can't
You
just
do a high thigh. Do a high thigh piece. BWTB. You're living.
Yeah, but have you ever seen my legs? Those high thighs are going to get a chance to get seen at some point. Don't need that in
Things
there.
are units, dude. If there's ever an earthquake or something, yeah, I'm holding on to you. You're the sturdiest guy in the world.
Yeah, but listen to you, businessman. You're like, oh, I want to get some. Let me get some billboard right there on that. that particular. That's
I
good
got
business.
some real estate to work on.
All right, so
working.
I'll do the. I don't know if we should do tattoos. That's too much of a commitment. I can't do it. That can't be my first tattoo. No way.
So
My
you're
wife.
not very confident in the Colts Titans today.
I'm not actually. By the way, I am not at all.
Really?
Yeah, because I think the Colts, have been playing a bit inconsistent. I think you guys have as well. Like on offense, you guys know Derrick Henry, right? This is what we're going to try to do. This is going to be our guy, and then everything else kind of goes off that. Ryan Tannehill has been unbelievable, by the way. All the stats talk about how great he is, but I think whenever you look at the Titans, you're like, okay, Derrick Henry, then let's kind of see what happens. And Tannehill is incredible, right? I'm not saying he's not, but for the Colts, if you guys can't get pressure on Phillip Rivers, I feel good. Like I think Phillip Rivers, if he can get a clean pocket and get a chance to look at the defense, in 17 years you're going to learn a little bit about a defense. I think he can deliver the ball if he has time. So it all depends on that. And I don't know if the offense for the Colts know what they are. Like the defense is good. I'm not 100% sure if the offense knows what they are yet. They could be great, could be not.
Yeah, statistically, the Colts are the number one defense in the league, right? Or they're definitely top 5.
Yeah, I think going into last week,
Phillip Rivers comes from Ken Wisnon's offense, where it's, he's got the mind where, you see whatever coverage they're in, whatever formation, he gets that ball out super fast. But yeah, there definitely has been some inconsistencies with your guys' offense. But our offense has done well, but last week our defense has been up and down, and they did really great last week against the Bears. So it'll be an interesting game. I think a lot of people it's going to be a really good game to watch.
It's a good Thursday night game.
It's a really good one.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm glad it changed because it was originally supposed to be Titans-Jags. And then with all the COVID stuff, it got moved around, and now it's Titans.
Oh, yeah, because you guys.
Oh.
Well, yes, because of us.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, there's something to be said about not practicing for 13 days straight. We didn't practice at all. Didn't even see the boys. Showed up and donkeyed out the Buffalo Bills. They're an unbelievable football team.
Very good.
I think it was just like, I remember we went into that game, and it was like, hey boys, I guess we're going to find out. I guess we're going to see how good we are. And then, dude, it was awesome. It was like one of my favorite wins to be a part of. And I don't want to fight with Bills fans, man. I've done that once. I'm happy.
They're very good.
They're the best fans. They're terrifying. They scared the shit out of me.
Ladies and gentlemen, all right, we got to figure it out. We'll figure it out on social what's going to happen. I can't get my first tattoo had to be with my wife, I think, because she's a big tattoo person as well.
Perfect.
So I'm saving my future.
I've said what I would do, but if you don't like that, obviously don't just tweet me. Tweet the boys.
All right, dude. See you, man. God, what a fucking legend.
Fucking right-hand man.
That's brilliant.
That's a really good one.
I forget who it was. I was in college. The guy had the mustache, and he was just crushing pictures, dude. Like, he was at the bar. I remember thinking this guy was the coolest human on earth or whatever. He was at the bar, and I was just, like, hanging out. And this guy, like, he would just slide over into a photo and just do this, right? And then the picture would be taken, and everybody would be like, oh, my God, did you? And he was just like, yeah, man. And he just walked away, and I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I almost got Tim Howard to put a mustache on to give me a tattoo whenever I was doing an MLS media thing for SeatGeek. By the way, T's and P's of SeatGeek think they're going to come back strong. Hopefully SeatGeek. Come on, SeatGeek.
Come on, SeatGeek.
COVID kind of hurt the live event business for sure.
Just a bit.
Interesting stuff coming out of Live Nation. But anyways, Tim Howard was going to do that if we could get a tattoo gun to the hotel we were in. Couldn't get it. So
damn it.
Maybe that was a sign from the universe, dude. Maybe that was a sign from the universe.
Yeah, remember, didn't the Baylor quarterback have the mustache?
I don't remember.
RG3?
No, in our production meeting, I remember you saying Charlie Brewer. You're like, I think he had it.
Oh yeah,
you pointed it out to him.
Yeah, probably because of the massive fanhood that I have for that tattoo. He had a jug of water with him. That Charlie Brewer kid. He had like maybe a milk bottle full of water or whatever. He was just walking around with a gallon of water. He didn't say a single word. Looked like he was like. I didn't know if he hated us, if he was scared to speak, or if he was just that focused on football. And then he went out and got a big win the next day. But as soon as I saw that the mustache tattoo on the hand, I was like, oh, this guy's lying to us right now. He's a good time. We should be talking to him a little bit differently. And that was, I think we opened up with him. I think that really turned the corner. I was sitting there in jorts and a cutoff hoodie, which is very normal, I think, for these media meetings. And that tattoo really brought us together. And that, by the way, congrats to Matt Rule going on an entire run after that. And now he got $70 million at the Carolina Panthers. So it's all because of that tattoo, dude. People forget.
And it was you that put it out there that made everyone in the room aware of the tattoo. So maybe Matt Rule's path would have been different if you didn't do that.
Wow.
Huh. Interesting.
How come that never gets mentioned? Let's go to the phones. What's that, AJ?
It just got mentioned.
You're right.
But before that, though.
Have you heard from Ryan Phillippe?
No, nothing, man. He ghosted me.
Jeez.
Again.
Just like he did Aaron. Hey, Tom Brady tweeted me yesterday. I don't know if you saw that or not. These aren't his glasses. I put these on. It made me think of his glasses, which are very nice, by the way, very comfortable. They're $190, but definitely worth it. I wore them into work this morning, made me feel smarter, and I had better vision on the road down there because I had like Tom Brady vision, the Danish company. He tweeted me yesterday, and I think there's a chance we potentially, maybe, almost sometime have him on the show.
What?
Whoa.
Oh my God!
Maybe one day, potentially, almost have him on the show. That'd be cool.
What did he tweet at? What did he say to you in the tweet?
Because whenever I picked up the glasses yesterday, because they are a very nice pair of glasses. They're sunglasses. They're $190, so you're getting a great with Christopher Kloos, by the way, a Danish designer of sunglasses. It's a partnership, obviously. Brady X Kloos. The sunglasses are good. I said, even though I've never spoke to Tom Brady personally, he and I have never chatted. I get all the TB12 stuff sent here, and I'm very appreciative. I'm like, hey, thank you for the stuff, and there's always a letter with it, like, Pat, here's blah, 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 blah. So I've never spoke to him personally or whatever, and we did that whole thing. Yesterday, quote tweeted and said, Pat, even though we've never spoke, ... personally, which I really respect. I like that a lot. He said it's something along the lines of something else or whatever. I get it. But yeah, it was it was a pretty cool little moment there. That'd be awesome. I'm an Aaron Rodgers guy. Everybody knows that. But Tom Brady coming on the show would be hilarious, I think.
You can be both. Why can't you be both? I don't think Aaron would be upset with you.
No, greatness is great, man. The conversation with us and Tom Brady would be fucking electric. Wow. I have so many questions. Because what is it like to be that human for that long, that you are so committed to being that human at all, that you literally eliminate all distractions? If a food potentially could make your body not be at peak performance, eliminate it from your life. Like, how do you have that ability to focus that hard on being, that person? And by the way, Aaron probably does a lot of the same damn things. And as this year continues to roll on, I'm going to ask some questions about, because we learned about Russell Wilson, chef and physical therapist, and $1 million a year he spends. It's like, there's a cost to being, at the top of the world in your profession. And Tom Brady is giving us a little peek of it with that whole TB12 thing,
Well, you have to, if you do take care of your body, now it's like a thing. It's almost like you, I'm not saying any of these guys do it, but it's once LeBron. Didn't LeBron say he spends over $1 million a year on his own body, just taking care and rehab? So now it's like, okay, if you're not spending $1 million a year and you're making a bunch of money, then you're lazy. What do you
even care?
What's your problem?
Do you even care about football if you don't do that?
Wow.
It's real, though. I mean, it would be cool to have a chef in this office. I would like that to be like just a chef. Like, hey, I'm here just to cook food here, and that would be. I think that is a price that's worth it for sure. Does he have a physical therapist living at the house, like Russell Wilson? Does he have like a physical therapist just living at that? Like, how do you pay?
I mean, that'd be weird to have him live at the house like full time. Maybe if they came in from out of town, they stayed for a week or something to work on you when you're hurt. But to have an actual physical therapist live there with you and your family,
it would have to be full time if you're spending $1 million on a couple of days, right? That's a full time gig, I'd assume, for somebody.
Pay for an apartment maybe nearby.
And then what do you just come over at like certain times? You have like one appointment a day.
Yeah, probably the same
time. That's a pretty good gig for that physical therapist.
Yeah, not bad at all.
And by the way, it's working too. Russell Wilson's really good at the football and baseball.
There's a lot of picks.
Let's go to Ryan.
Oh, come on.
He doesn't throw a lot of picks.
He had 3 in one game, correct?
Yeah. But if you look at one game, I guess if we're just judging that one game, in comparison to Josh Allen, he throws a lot of picks in that one particular game. But, I mean, When you go over the whole thing, he doesn't throw a lot of picks if you look at if you zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, well, the Bills game, he only had 2 picks. I was referring to the
2
3-pick game.
2 fumbles that game.
Oh, yeah, 2 fumbles. So he had 4 turnovers that game. So, yeah, the 3-pick game was against Arizona, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the 2 weeks before that. But that's not what Russell Wilson does.
No.
I am tired of the narrative that our show doesn't like Russell Wilson. We think Russell Wilson's very good at football.
Yeah.
He's just not having as good of a year as Aaron Rodgers.
Just looking at the stats.
By the way, Bills Mafia came after us for the same goddamn thing. We love Josh Allen.
Him.
Like, actually love Josh Allen.
The man.
Think he's very, 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 very good at football, but he's not having a year fucking Aaron Rodgers, both on the field or off the field media-wise.
Nope.
Okay? Just want to let you know that. That's just how it goes. Did you hear him troll everybody yesterday? Aaron, by the way, awesome. Just one of the best answers I've ever heard.
About the offensive coordinator?
Yeah, with Nathaniel Hackett, who I didn't know existed, by the way, until this quote, and I'm pretty pumped up that I know about him now.
I didn't know about him until Aaron started telling me about him over the time. I'm like, I remember asking him whenever it happened, like, who's your offensive coordinator now? And he mentioned this guy, and he's like, the best. This dude is the man. Like, and Aaron said that. Didn't Aaron say, like, hey, this guy's going to You can read the tweet. There we go.
Yeah, the tweet says he hope he doesn't go anywhere unless I do.
Whoa! Last year in Green Bay.
What a line. Wow, where's he going? Is he going somewhere else with Nathaniel Hackett? Oh, my God. Is Nathaniel Hackett going to get a head coaching gig because he's maybe a hot upstart right now to be the next head coach, and then he's going to tell the GM, hey, whatever we got to do, we know that they don't want Aaron anymore. Let's go ahead and trade. Is Aaron out of town because of Nathaniel Hackett and his relationship? Oh, my God.
Holy shit.
He said it, not us.
I tell you what, that's a great some great publicity for Nathaniel Hackett and getting some interviews this offseason. I tell you what, that's a heck of an endorsement.
I didn't know he existed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Peyton Manning got Adam Gase, 4 jobs that he shouldn't have. Nathaniel Hackett gets dropped in one Zoom call, and everybody's like, who's this? He's got to be pretty fucking good.
He was Jacksonville's OC before he came to Green Bay.
Whenever they made it to the AFC Championship.
Maybe.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah?
2016, right?
Should have let Blake throw the ball, but he's learned from that. Now they're slinging it all over. This has been Thursday, November 12th. Big thanks to Pereira, Steve Levy, Taylor Lewan, AJ Hawk, all the boys, and all of you for listening and watching wherever the hell you may be. I dominate NXT. This show not so great. Chris Mad Dog Russo will be next with Mad Dog Unleashed. You have 6 minutes. Go take a shit. We'll see you tomorrow. Nailed it. Hey, great stuff to you too, man. All right, we'll talk. We'll hear you tomorrow. Peace, dog.
One love.
Guy dropped a piece on us, dude. That was pretty cool.
That's sweet.
He said, "Great show, peace." That guy was nice.
I like that.
Hell yeah.
I like that energy right there. Hey, I didn't know if you know this, AJ. I've been running on a lot of false enthusiasm today. It's been a blast. I got home very late last night. I ran on little to no sleep, and this has been a fun show for me. I've really enjoyed today's show.
What are you going to do? What, don't you have Hammer Down today?
Oh, yeah, buddy. 30 minutes, pal. I'm going to probably chug this here green tea. I might go get a workout in, maybe move a little bit. Oh, yeah. Probably play a game of U-ball. And then Hammer Down comes out, and hopefully I'll still have the energy to go ahead and just give out locks on top of locks on top of locks on top of locks alongside Diggs, Gumpy, Michael Lombardi.
Yeah, the only one you can't really give a lock on is for the game tonight that everyone's going to want to have your information.
Yeah. I think I'm betting on the Colts. I don't know. About 4 o'clock, I'll probably have my answer after I hear what Michael Lombardi has to say. Michael Lombardi, the way he talks about football games is awesome. I genuinely learn like a lot from him. And his math and then Gumpy's stats, they tie in. And then the trends and this stuff from Dick. The show is so awesome. Okay, and I'm just kind of like a benefactor of the whole thing. Like, Lombardi's experience and knowledge of football, the way he breaks it down is, I don't know if there's anybody else that can do it like him that has been in his position, that is strictly looking at it, by the way, from a gambling perspective. He doesn't actually bet on the picks, but he makes picks. So it's like best of both worlds. Like, okay, this person. Then Gumpy has these stats where it makes no sense, the shit that he finds. It is magical to hear what he has to say. And then Diggs is like, well, if you look at this, and he's like this whole thing. So I just sit back and basically listen to all the different styles of gambling, what their thoughts are. And I go, I think that's a good idea there. I like that more than that. And that sounds like those Italians do know what they're talking about. So I get to do that. It is a lot of fun in there. But the knowledge learned on Hammered Down has been very, very cool. And we got that in 32 minutes right here, youtube.com/the Pat McAfee Show.
And when those stars align and they're all on the same page, I mean, it is magnificent to watch.
Yeah, I think we're like 5-1 or something like that, right? Whatever, we're all on the same page, I think. So it's
Isn't Diggs? So I know Diggs can give some gambling advice, but isn't Diggs like the fantasy expert in the office?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's back. No, Foxy is.
No.
AJ, there has been a lot of controversy around this here, pal. A lot of controversy. Diggs can't help everybody, so his heart hurts a little bit.
Superhero complex.
So, yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah.
If you can't save everybody, why save one person is what Diggs says.
It's like when Santa, his sleigh breaks down. Can't get presents to all the kids. You
can't do it.
Might as well not give any kids.
Yeah, take the jacket off.
Urban Meyer's situation to me.
Oh,
holy shit!
Heart hurt, dude. Heart hurt. But Foxy ran a bunch of leagues, and he told us that. So he quickly became the fantasy expert because Diggs' heart couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, you just got to go with who you like. That's who you pick. If you got a fan favorite in that game, you play that person. I am 2-7, so it doesn't work very well. But Diggs, he said he spends an hour a day on fantasy football.
Who has the fucking time?
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Run the tape back. I said an hour a week.
Oh, I thought you said
Oh, okay. All right, you're right. He did say that. And if you do the math, depending on 5 days a week or 7, depends on how many minutes you're spending a day.
It's
That's
an hour
a couple
day.
shits. That's
hour a
just-
day.
Yeah.
I'd quit fantasy football if it was an hour a day.
But it seems as if you do an hour a day. Though, aren't you in the lead in Didn't you win? You're like you are an actually good fantasy football
Top
player.
tier.
Hour a week. That's all you need. That might even be more than you need.
Really?
AJ, you do fantasy football? Nah, no way.
I haven't. No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't understand all the lingo. I get it. I just can't figure it out.
I thought you were in that celebrity league with Andrew Siciliano.
Yeah, what's going on, dude?
I am 100% unaware of that league if it is a real thing.
No, you and Andrew Siciliano.
Yeah.
He was Siciliano.
What about him? NFL Network, good guy.
He
I don't
loved
know
your
anything about
bookshelf.
the league.
Great guy.
Yeah, all those guys.
Ty, what are you talking about? You heard he was in a league with him?
Yeah, I thought AJ was in one of the celebrity leagues with him. I might have saw something different, but I could have sworn AJ and Andrew Siciliano.
No, it was Mike Hawk.
Was it? Yeah, it might have been.
AJ's brother. What's going on, Nick?
I just wanted to let you know that Diggs did pick up Michael Pittman this week, so he is high on Pittman and the Colts offense tonight.
Whoa. So here we go. So now we get a chance to get fantasy advice from a fantasy expert without having to rely on the fantasy expert to give us the information, because if he gives out the information, he potentially loses his own league. So now we get to a bottom tier player in his league and leak the information from the expert so that we can all kind of reap the benefit from it. If you're in the fantasy football world, this show is awesome.
Yeah, Nick, who'd he drop? Who'd he drop, Nick?
Who'd he drop? It's real. Nick, can you tell? I don't know.
Yeah. It looks like he gave up on Anthony McFarland of the Steelers.
Okay, good to know.
He got a first quarter last week. He was a starter. Didn't make enough plays. Diggs says, get the fuck off my team. All right, AJ.
I love it.
Who do you got tonight? Colts or Titans?
I'm taking the Titans. I think they find a way to get it done. And they cover they're 1-point underdogs?
Yeah, they're getting a point. Start the game 1-0.
Who cares? Yeah, they're going to win.
Well, the number one, I guess, not really that big of a difference. But if it was like 4.5 or 7.5 or something like that, 3.5 even, or any other number other than 1, it would matter. I would like that to be known, AJ.
Hence the reason for me saying who cares.
Oh, so you weren't saying like to the spread in general. You were saying
no,
just
I'm just saying it's one pick'em game. You know, Lombardi's it's a pick'em game.
Well, what happens if
you been listening?
No.
You like Lombardi?
No. I listened to Lombardi and old buddy on his podcast, the GM Shuffle.
Adnan.
Him and Adnan, yeah.
It's a good show.
It is a good show.
Not as good as Hammer Down, but it is. It's a good show. It's probably the number 2 show in my eyes in that particular world.
You guys bring the video element. He doesn't have a video element for that one, so it's good.
Well, to be clear, like if we didn't have video element, we wouldn't have the audio element. So, like, we only record through the camera. So we kind of have to have a video element, which maybe is a flaw in our tech, but it is a necessity. So I'm happy to hear it's a benefit. But really, the only reason why we have this set advantage is because we fucking have to. You know what I mean? So that's just the way. It's the way this business goes, especially ours. We appreciate you, AJ. Thank you, everybody that was watching along. YouTube, you guys are the greatest humans on earth. We lowered our McAfee Mafia member price.
Let's go!
Yeah, we lowered it. We lowered it.
Oh, yeah.
By a lot, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure of the original price. I think $5.99 maybe.
That sounds right.
And that was going to get you, which it did. A lot of people made that money back in one clean purchase on the store. And then some people abuse it a little bit, obviously, which, by the way, is a right for the McAfee Mafia members.
Sure.
You save money, make money there. You got a sale at the store. Obviously, you got exclusive emotes or whatever the fuck they're called, emojis in the comment section. Exclusive content with the pod video, of course.
Yep.
The podcast that you guys put together that is my favorite podcast to listen to and watch. You guys are kind of tough, but the some of you guys. No, I'm joking. It's I watch it out there while I'm on calls, and normally when you guys are screaming something ridiculous in the background, I have to leave the room very quickly. But I love that show. You get to watch that show, and you're also going to get other exclusive content whenever we set the price, like watch-alongs and things like that, because we set up an actual studio in my house so that I could go down there, go live, so I didn't have to drive all the way downtown and go back to my house or whatever, And it turns out my house is the Bermuda Triangle when it comes to the internet. There ain't enough internet to get me on the fucking air. So we moved an entire studio into a room that basically cannot be connected. So have to lower the price because expectations, obviously. It's down to $1.99. We could have made it 99 cents, by the way. But with the 70-30 split with YouTube, there's really no reason to even do that to anybody. So $1.99. We have some exclusive stuff. You will still get the pod video. You will get the super E thingies.
You have the emotes.
The E thingies and the thing. You'll get other access to other stuff that would come along the way. But I would like the expectation level to be a little bit set. You know what I mean? Like, I think $1.99 sets it at a good rate. Like, hey, this is what you're getting, bub. Yep. This is what you're getting. We appreciate it. By the way, you're supporting the shit out of our business.
Huge.
We appreciate the hell out of it. But the expectation should be right here.
Good guy. You could have kept gouging him.
I don't want to do that. Okay. What we gouge is people that have a lot of money.
Boom.
Okay. You gouge them. You don't gouge our people.
No.
And I'm not saying that our people don't have a lot of money. I'm talking about corporate money. Like where you gouge the people that are playing with other people's money. That's
right.
who you gouge.
The greedy corporate fat cat.
Bingo. You don't gouge our people. Our people are our people, by the way. Our people are marching alongside me in my war against the internet wrestling community as well every Wednesday night. And I appreciate that immensely. I appreciate that a lot. AJ, did you watch last night? Well, your biggest takeaway was that the guy doesn't smile. You thought he was Jason McAfee. That's your biggest takeaway from the whole night last night?
Well, I have not gotten to watch your whole segment yet.
Okay, so
that's what
inform you. I'm
recycled that.
Hey, don't spend 99. What's that? Don't spend $1.99. We don't want you to be there.
I'm not going to tell us. I couldn't hear you, cut you off, but no, I've watched some clips. That's all I've seen. It's good, man. You continue in your career. Good for you. I can't wait till you get jacked again and you get spray tan. And I want to see you really mixing up with the boys down there.
Hey, I want to let you know. Last night, your guy, Fandango, had to get roughed up.
I mean, the guy.
No, your guy. I am the guy, AJ. Hold on, AJ. AJ, I am the guy.
I would have never brought it up. If I don't know how I started this, I would have never mentioned wrestling.
Well, I just want to let you know, I am the guy. Okay, Fandango, your guy.
Is the guy, but continue.
No, he's your guy. I am the guy. Your guy got roughed up last night by the guy in the guys.
Hell yeah.
I just want to let you know that.
There's no way you would ever lay a finger on Fandango.
I actually did. I cost him the titles when I pushed his ass off the top rope. No big deal. How you doing? Keep it moving. Oni, Danny, new champs. I'm the man. Let me take the mask off. Fuck everybody. We're taking over. I did do that. Last night, though, I didn't touch him. Okay?
Nope. No.
But his little tag team partner, Tyler Breeze, whoop-pow! Stole out of body. It was awesome. Wow. It's a good time. But I told your guy to retire last night, too, by the way, when I was standing there with Toffel. I said, you should retire.
You should.
Kind of rude.
Offensive. That's absolutely offensive. You better watch out. He's going to break out his old character of Fandango.
Fandango.
The dancer. The shimmy. He's shimmying. He's dancing. You're going to bring him back.
What was the song? Oh, my God. It was so good. It was such a catchy little tune there. Fuck it. He's not around. Who cares? 7 minutes after 3 here in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. You get about 23 minutes until Hammer done. We can't thank you enough for rocking with us. Cheers. Have a great day.